Chapter 432. Who the hell are you? Ling Xiao stared at the little boy with burning eyes. Ling Xiao knew that he had lost in terms of physical strength. Ling Xiao unleashed the power of the body of the flying dragon and used the berserk dragon superpower to increase his combat strength by 8 times. Only then did he barely beat the little boy. This little boy was a monster. He was even scarier than the legendary baby beasts. Awesome, this is awesome. You're the first person to beat me in terms of physical strength. No wonder you're my cousin. The little boy's eyes lit up, and his eyes were filled with excitement. Cousin? Ling Xiao was stunned. Since when did he have another cousin? That's right. Cousin, is your mother Mu Hanyan? Mu Hanyan is my aunt, so you're my cousin. The little boy was like a completely different person from before. He ran over affectionately as though he knew Ling Xiao well. Nangong Xian, the old goat, and the rest were dumbfounded. They originally thought that this little boy was here to cause trouble for the Changsun sect. Everyone was still wondering about this little boy's background. In the blink of an eye, he became Ling Xiao's cousin. This kind of change caused everyone to be unable to wrap their heads around it for a moment. Mu Hanyan. My mother. She's from the dragon tribe? Although Ling Xiao had guessed it, he only confirmed it when he sensed the powerful dragon aura from the little boy. The little boy was definitely from the dragon tribe. Even Ling Xiao, who had cultivated the ancestral dragon's secret skill, couldn't compare to his majestic dragon aura. That's right. Your mother is the Princess Royal of the Crystal Palace. I'm Long Outyen, the 9th Prince of the Crystal Palace. You're my cousin. The little boy had an arrogant look on his face as if he was saying, I'm awesome, right? Come and praise me. Long Outyen. The corner of Ling Xiao's mouth twitched. This name reminded him of Zhao Ritian. Both of them were weird. The 3 words Crystal Palace made Ling Xiao's eyes narrow. The Crystal Palace had a long history. It was said that it had been passed down since the ancient times. Its strength was unfathomable. Even when the Changsun sect dominated the world 10,000 years ago, Ling Xiao didn't dare to say that the Changsun sect could beat the Crystal Palace. After all, the dragon tribe was the overlord of the world in the ancient times. They had the bloodline of the divine beasts. They just kept a low profile. This kid was the 9th prince of the Crystal Palace. No wonder he was so demonic. He had such terrifying combat strength at the age of 5 or 6. The dragon tribe's bloodline must be extremely pure. Your surname is Long. Why is Mu Hanyan? Ling Xiao asked doubtfully. Why are you so stupid? Aunt's name is Long Hanyan. Mu Hanyan is just her alias. Long Outyen looked at Ling Xiao with disdain. Alright, you win. Ling Xiao was speechless as he brought Long Outyen to the top of Longevity Mountain. Although Nangong Xian and the others did not know what the Crystal Palace was, the 2 words Dragon Clan shocked them. Their eyes were filled with reverence. Ling Xiao brought Long Outyen to Jin's pavilion. He had many questions for the little fellow to answer. Old goat, where are you going? Seeing that the old goat wanted to sneak away, Ling Xiao couldn't help but smile. 10,000 years ago, the old goat's favorite pastime was to rob the tombs of the strong. It had even visited the Crystal Palace before. In the end, it went for wool and came home shorn. Instead, it was taught a lesson by the violent dragons. If Ling Xiao hadn't saved it in the end, the old goat would have been in deep trouble. Therefore, the old goat was traumatized at the mention of the dragon tribe. You guys chat. I remember that I have something to do. I'll take my leave first. The old goat squeezed out a smile on his face and disappeared with a whoosh. Cousin, that old goat is so weird. It seems to be afraid of me. Why don't you give it to me as a mount? Outyen blinked his big eyes and looked at the old goat strangely. Forget it. It's too ugly. It doesn't suit your status. I'll catch a Qilin for you another day. Ling Xiao smiled. Qilin? That's what you said. You can't lie to me. Outyan's eyes lit up and he quickly took advantage of the situation. Back at the Jin's pavilion, Ling Xiao asked about his doubts, such as the whereabouts of Ling Zhen and Long Hanyan, and why Outyan came to the Eight Desolates region. Cousin, my aunt is being suppressed by father in the East Ci. She's in a bad situation. When Long Hanyan was mentioned, Outyan's voice became gloomy. What happened? Ling Xiao's eyes turned cold. Although he was the sky-devouring supreme in his previous life, Ling Xiao had unknowingly treated Ling Zhen and Long Hanyan as his parents. Hearing that Long Hanyan was in trouble, Ling Xiao's eyes turned cold. I heard it from my brothers and elders. 20 years ago, my father wanted to marry the great sun demon Venerable of the Sky Demon Palace. He betrothed my aunt to the great sun demon Venerable's son, the sky-scorching demon emperor. However, my aunt didn't agree. She ran away from home and accidentally boarded the Netherworld ship. By chance, she came to the Eight Desolates region and met my uncle. They fell in love and gave birth to you. When my father heard that my aunt ran away from home, he was furious and sent people to look for my aunt. In the end, he found my aunt in the Eight Desolates region and brought her back. The sky-scorching demon emperor was also infatuated. He didn't mind that my aunt was married and wanted to marry my aunt. In the end, my aunt didn't agree. My father was furious and suppressed my aunt in the East Ci. 4 to 5 years ago, your father, Ling Zhen, actually left the Eight Desolates region and went to the Eastern Sea alone to look for your aunt. He tried in vain to break the seal of the Eastern Ci and save your aunt. In the end, he was severely injured and went missing. Long Outyan told Ling Xiao about Ling Zhen and Long Hanyan's situation. Ling Xiao's eyes turned colder and colder. Your father is really ruthless. He didn't even let his own sister go. Ling Xiao's voice was cold. My father had no choice. My Crystal Palace was in trouble. If not for the help of the Sky Demon Palace, the Crystal Palace would have. However, my aunt's life is not in danger. When my father thinks it through, he will definitely let my aunt go. Long Outyan sighed like an adult. Alright, I know. Why are you here? Ling Xiao suppressed the anger in his heart. The Dragon King of the East Sea of the Crystal Palace was a supreme being. Ling Xiao was no match for him now. When Ling Xiao regained the cultivation of his previous life, so what if he was the Dragon King of the East Sea? With one word, he would release Long Hanyan. I just wanted to see my cousin. I didn't expect him to be so powerful. The true dragon bloodline in his body is on the verge of awakening. Chapter 433. You snuck out, didn't you? Ling Xiao rolled his eyes. It was obvious that Long Outyan was lying. Long Outyan said that Ling Xiao had the bloodline of a true dragon. When Ling Xiao cultivated the secret skills of the ancestral dragon, it was as if he had the help of a god. In just 1 year, he broke through the 3 realms of the Jiao dragon body, the earth dragon body, and the flying dragon body. This showed that Ling Xiao's bloodline was extraordinary. However, Ling Xiao was certain that his bloodline power had yet to awaken. Every time he cultivated the ancestral dragon's secret skill, the dragon-shaped mark that appeared between his brows was proof. Ling Xiao was also looking forward to how terrifying his bloodline power would be if it was completely awakened. I often go to the Eastern Ci to play. My aunt is very good to me. I know she misses you, so I came to the Eight Desolates region to bring you back to see her. Long Outyan chuckled. The Eight Desolates region and the War God continent are separated by the endless reincarnation ocean. How did you come here? Ling Xiao asked. The underworld ship, Auntie told me about it. The underworld ship in the reincarnation sea appears once a year. My luck is good and I easily found it. Oh right, the underworld ship can only stay for a month. I know where it is. Let's hurry up and leave. Otherwise, we will have to wait until next year. Long Outyan said arrogantly. When he mentioned the underworld ship, he suddenly clapped his hands in realization. You actually found the underworld ship? That's great. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with surprise. He originally planned to search for the underworld ship after leaving the Eight Desolates region. He didn't expect Long Outyen to come here on the underworld ship. Ling Xiao did a rough calculation. The underworld ship should stay for more than 10 days. But just in case, Ling Xiao decided to leave earlier. You can play by yourself. After I settle the matters of the Changsun sect, we will leave. Thinking of this, Ling Xiao didn't hesitate. It was too late to teach the Changsun sect martial arts. Before that, Ling Xiao had to strengthen the longevity god sealing array and leave behind some powerful methods. After all, Ling Xiao didn't know when he would return. Although the Changsun sect had great potential, they didn't have enough high-end combat strength. This time, Ling Xiao planned to bring Xue Wei and Phoenix Lady along. Xue Wei's 9 nether bloodline and Phoenix Lady's black phoenix body could only shine on the war god continent. Although Xue Wei was currently cultivating the 9 nether scripture, she still needed to find the complete 9 nether scripture. Other than Xue Wei and Phoenix Lady, Moon Goddess was also going to the war god continent. Adding Ling Xiao, Old Goat, and Long Outyen, there were 6 of them. The cultivation of the others was too weak, so staying in the Eight Desolates region to cultivate was the best choice. Ji Feishuan's face appeared in Ling Xiao's mind, but he still shook his head. As the sect master of the Jade Lake sect, Ji Feishuan should not be willing to leave the Eight Desolation region. After thinking it through, Ling Xiao told Nangong Xian his plan. Although Nangong Xian was worried, when he saw that Long Outyen was able to safely enter the Eight Desolates region through the underworld ship, the worry in his heart dissipated. In the end, Ling Xiao came to the forbidden area in the back mountain. He was prepared to use the Tree of Path Understanding as the foundation to complete the immortal God Sealing Array. The forbidden area in the back mountain was enshrouded in dense spiritual mist. Exotic flowers and herbs bloomed, and a mysterious aura permeated the air, raising one's spirit. Nangong Xian had already planted the 100 or so king herbs that Ling Xiao gave him in the forbidden area. Under the miraculous effects of the Path Understanding tree, these king herbs, like the immortal peach tree, would rapidly grow. In the future, it would not be impossible for them to transform into supreme saint herbs. Ling Xiao also took out the longevity fruit tree and planted it beside the Path Understanding tree. The longevity fruit tree was also a natural spiritual root. It was slightly inferior to the Path Understanding tree, but it was enough to protect a sacred ground and gather the power of destiny. Although Ling Xiao had plucked all the longevity fruit, as long as there was enough time, the longevity fruit tree would bloom and bear fruit, growing new longevity fruit. Croak, 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 the croaking of a toad came from the Path Understanding tree. It was a red toad. Its entire body was as resplendent as jade, and its eyes were very lively. It looked at Ling Xiao with a hint of flattery. It's already become a 6th rank Yao. A trace of shock appeared in Ling Xiao's eyes. This toad was the 1,000-year vermilion toad that Ling Xiao had obtained before. Because its strength was too weak, he had always placed it on the Path Understanding tree and allowed it to cultivate on its own. Ling Xiao also did not expect this vermilion toad's cultivation to rise so quickly. It had already reached the level of a 6th rank Yao. The Path Understanding tree seems to be somewhat different after its rebirth. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. The Path Understanding tree now looked dazzling. Although the branches and leaves were sparse, they were sparkling like jade. Moreover, there was an aura that calmed one's mind, as if one could fall into a state of Tao comprehension at any time. Cousin, there are actually so many spiritual roots of heaven and earth here. Long Outyen had slipped in at some point. As soon as he saw the Path Understanding tree, longevity fruit tree, and immortal peach tree, he drooled, his eyes shining. Ling Xiao jumped in fright and hurriedly pulled Long Outyen back. Don't move. These spiritual roots are still in their infancy. I'll give you a peach of immortality. Ling Xiao could do nothing about this brat. He could only take out a golden peach of immortality and give it to Long Outyen. So. Cousin, I want to eat the longevity fruit. Long Outyen ate the peach of immortality in 2 or 3 bites. With a look of dissatisfaction, he set his eyes on the longevity fruit. As the 9th prince of the Crystal Palace, a spiritual root like the immortal peach tree only produced king medicines. Long Outyen had eaten quite a few before, so he naturally looked down on it. And a supreme holy medicine like the longevity fruit, even the Crystal Palace did not have many. It naturally made Long Outyen very envious. Don't mess around. The longevity fruit tree hasn't borne fruit yet. Ling Shao wanted to fool him. Cousin, don't lie to me. This longevity fruit was clearly just plucked by you. Look at this branch, there are still signs of it being broken. Long Outyen was very crafty. His eyes darted around and very quickly found some clues. Ling Shao had no choice but to give Long Outyen a longevity fruit. Thank you, cousin. You're too good to me. When we return to the War God continent, if Royal Father doesn't let Ant go, I'll help you beat him up. Long Outyen beamed with joy, hugging the longevity fruit and drooling. I know. You step back first. I'm going to set up the formation. Ling Shao said helplessly. After Long Outyen left the back mountain, Ling Shao began to mobilize the power of the longevity mountain and began to set up the longevity god's sealing array again. Rumble. The longevity mountain began to buzz and tremble, emitting a resplendent multicolored light. Runes burst out from the mountain, emitting a vast and mysterious power. The epiphany tree swayed with the wind, incomparably agile. Each leaf was like a resplendent ancient character, interweaving with each other. A gorgeous light enveloped the entire longevity mountain. Chapter 434. Ling Shao stood in the forbidden area at the back of the mountain, surrounded by a ball of bright light. From all directions of the longevity mountain, countless mysterious auras intertwined like divine chains of order, and the core was the epiphany tree. Ling Zhao's primordial spirit had reached the pinnacle of the noble realm, and he could mobilize the supreme Tao marks engraved in the longevity mountain. 10,000 years ago, many supreme beings comprehended the Tao here, and they left behind precious supreme Tao marks, which made the longevity mountain indestructible. These supreme Tao marks were the source of power for the longevity god sealing array. Ling Shao was going to mobilize the power of the supreme Tao marks and integrate it into the array. The epiphany tree was a natural spiritual root, and as the eye of the longevity god sealing array, it could fully unleash the power of the supreme Tao marks. Rumble. The longevity mountain trembled, and strands of auras intertwined. Rays of divine light rose, and it was like a flying immortal, emitting a brilliant light. Above the longevity mountain, the divine light was boundless, and it was as if there were powerful figures rising into the sky, and they all turned into ancient runes. The power of the longevity god sealing array is increasing. Nangong Xian, who was in the longevity hall, was pleasantly surprised. The original longevity god sealing array already had the power to resist a noble realm cultivator, and now that Ling Shao had strengthened it, how terrifying would it be? This time, Ling Shao went all out, using the sky-devouring secret technique to mobilize the power of heaven and earth, and the epiphany tree to mobilize the supreme Tao marks. The entire longevity mountain was covered by runes, and it became more and more dazzling. There was also purple lightning, and endless sword qi, which made the longevity mountain more and more peaceful. Endless essence of heaven and earth surged toward the longevity mountain from thousands of miles away, and the spiritual qi in the longevity mountain became 10 times, 100 times denser. Just like that, Ling Shao spent a total of 10 days to complete the longevity god sealing grand array. A vast and terrifying power spread out like the might of the heavens. It was unfathomable, causing the depths of everyone's soul to palpitate indescribably. Ling Shao took the vermilion toad away. In the past few days, Ling Shao had discovered that under the effects of the epiphany tree, the bloodline of the 1,000-year-old scarlet toad was showing signs of atavism. It was about to become the legendary Scarlet Toad King. The Vermilion Toad King was also a type of archaic divine beast and was incomparably powerful. Most importantly, it could search for treasures and geomancy in the heavens, as well as seek fortune and avoid calamities. It was incomparably mysterious. If this 1,000-year-old vermilion toad could really communicate with it and transform into a vermilion toad king, then Ling Xiao would have profited greatly. Ling Xiao left the forbidden grounds and met with Nangong Xian, the great elder, the elders of the Changsun sect, and the many true disciples in the Changsun hall. They all knew that Ling Xiao was leaving and came to send him off at the same time. Sect leader, if a noble plane cultivator dares to break into the immortality god-sealing formation, they will definitely die. Even an emperor realm cultivator can't break it. If you have any urgent matters in the future, you can take this token to the Jade Lake sect and look for the Jade Lake King, Ji Feishuan. Ling Xiao smiled and handed a token to Nangong Xian with the words, Xian King, engraved on it. This token was given to Ling Xiao by Ji Feishuan. She said that she wanted to make Ling Xiao the king of the great Xian ancient kingdom. However, Ling Xiao had no use for it now. Out of respect for Ling Xiao, Ji Feishuan would definitely help the Changsun sect if anything happened. Are you sure you want to leave? Nangong Xian sighed softly. There was worry and reluctance in his eyes, but more than that, there were blessings and expectations. That's right. When I return to the Changsun sect, it will be the time when the Changsun sect will truly reign over the war god continent. Ling Xiao smiled faintly with a trace of sharpness in his eyes. Good. Ha ha ha. The fact that our Changsun sect has a saint is because of the patriarch's spirit. The heavens are protecting us. I also believe that there will be a day when our Changsun sect regains its glory. The first elder laughed as well, his eyes filled with anticipation. Fellow elders, junior brothers and sisters, after I leave, the Changsun sect will depend on you all. I hope that the next time I see you all, you will shine brightly and become the pillars of our Changsun sect. Ling Xiao's gaze swept across Deng Tianda, Deng Yalan, Jian Wuk, Zhua Zhen, and the others. Finally, it landed on Nangong Qing. He was slightly startled and sighed in his heart. Don't worry, Saint. With the resources left behind by you, our Changsun sect will rise rapidly and dominate the 8 Desolates region. Saint, we will go to the 8 Desolates region to find you. Saint, we swear to protect the Changsun sect with our lives. The eyes of the elders and disciples were filled with excitement, reluctance, and adoration. Ling Xiao had become the guardian god in the hearts of the Changsun sect's disciples. They were filled with fanatical worship for Ling Xiao. Everyone, take care. Ling Xiao cupped his fists with a smile and turned to leave the Changsun palace. At the peak of the Changsun mountain, Shuewei, Yueshen, Phoenix Lady, Old Goat and Long Out Yen were waiting. A void warship floated in the air, emitting powerful and mysterious energy waves. Ling Xiao and the others boarded the void warship and instantly turned into a ray of light, disappearing into the clouds. At the peak of the Changsun mountain, clouds swirled around. The statues of Sky Devouring Supreme and Changsun Supreme stood on the square, looking into the distance, emitting an unparalleled aura. A girl in a white dress looked in the direction where Ling Xiao had left. The mountain breeze blew her hair and her clothes fluttered, making her look like a fairy. She was in a daze. After a long while, she let out a soft sigh. Ling Xiao is a divine dragon. The 8 Desolates region is just a small puddle. It can't keep him. His journey is to the war god continent. Sigh. The wind is strong here. She didn't know when Nangong Xian had appeared beside her and sighed softly. Nangong Qing was his daughter. How could he not know what Nangong Qing was thinking? Father, I know. So I won't be a burden to him. I'll catch up to him. One day, I'll go to the war god continent too. Nangong Qing smiled. She was so beautiful, and there was a glimmer of light in her eyes. Qing, why do you have to do this? Nangong Xian smiled bitterly. Father, I'm going into seclusion. This time, I won't come out until I reach the heaven realm. Nangong Qing smiled at Nangong Xian. She turned and left with her sword on her back. Her beautiful figure gradually elongated under the sunlight, and a vast sword intent gradually condensed. Ling Xiao and the others steered the void warship and sped towards the south. This void warship was called the Green Netherworld Warship. It was a superior grade Dao artifact that Ling Xiao had plundered from the Ninth Saint's storage ring. The Green Netherworld Warship traveled 100,000 miles in a day. It was extremely fast, carrying Ling Xiao across millions of miles of mountains and rivers in the Eight Desolates region. Endless mountains and vast plains were behind them. The sky was high, the clouds were light, and the sun was shining brightly. The surrounding wind was strong, and there was a sense of transcendence. After flying for a day and a night, a dense forest appeared below them. Ancient trees towered into the sky, and old vines surrounded them. It stretched as far as the eye could see. The air gradually became moist, and a salty sea breeze blew over, bringing with it a certain gentle aura. "Cousin, that's the reincarnation sea." Long Outyen's eyes lit up as he pointed ahead. Chapter 435. Rumble. In the south, a black sea appeared before Ling Xiao's eyes. The waves surged, sweeping across the sky. It was magnificent and majestic. A mysterious and strange aura pervaded the air. Ling Xiao's eyes flickered as if he could see the vicissitudes of the world. "Is this the sea of reincarnation?" Ling Xiao whispered to himself. Legend has it that the Sea of Reincarnation was formed by the Great Calamity 10,000 years ago. The river of the underworld flowed in reverse, forming the Sea of Reincarnation. The Netherworld ship also came from the underworld. "Cousin, the Sea of Reincarnation is very strange. I encountered many dangers on my way here. Fortunately, I, Long Outyen, am blessed by the heavens and earth. That's why I can turn misfortune into fortune." Long Outyen looked at the Sea of Reincarnation. The fearless Long Outyen had a trace of fear in his eyes. "Is that the Netherworld ship?" Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he saw a black ancient ship anchored by the shore. It looked very ordinary, but it emitted a terrifying aura that made people feel cold all over with a single glance. "That's right. Cousin, this Netherworld ship is very strange. As long as we don't touch anything on the ship and stay in the cabin, we can reach the War God continent in 2 to 3 months. Long Outyen said. "Let's go take a look." Ling Xiao's eyes flickered. He controlled the green Netherworld ship to descend from the void and stopped by the shore. The water of the Sea of Reincarnation was black. The waves hit the shore. The strange thing was that there was a desert hundreds of miles away from the shore. Not a single blade of grass grew. It was as if the vitality of the land was sucked away by something. Ling Xiao's sharp senses felt that there was a chaotic energy in the Sea of Reincarnation that made his scalp tingle. "It's the power of time." Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of shock. He felt a chaotic power of time from the Sea of Reincarnation. It was as if 10,000 years had passed in an instant. It could take away all life and vitality. Strange. The power of time is a power that even the gods in the legends find difficult to control. How could it have materialized into such a vast ocean? The old goat was also a little scared. It felt uncomfortable standing by the shore of the Sea of Reincarnation. Legend has it that in the Reincarnation Sea, there are only strange reincarnation beasts. Other than that, there are no other living creatures. Let me give it a try. Moon God's eyes flashed. She took out a spirit rabbit. It looked like a rank 3 beast. It turned into a beam of light and flew into the Reincarnation Sea. The rabbit was originally very quiet, but when it was about to fall into the Reincarnation Sea, its fur suddenly stood on end. Its eyes were filled with incomparable terror as it began to scream. Bang! The rabbit fell into the black seawater, stirring up waves. Everyone looked over and instantly sucked in a breath of cold air. After the rabbit fell into the sea, it quickly aged. Its fur grew and fell off like crazy. It was as if time had sped up by 100 or 1,000 times. In an instant, the rabbit's lifespan dried up, and it slowly disappeared into the sea. This, Phoenix Maiden and Shui Wei opened their mouths wide in disbelief. Ling Xiao and the old goat looked at each other and felt a chill run down their backs. Their eyes were filled with solemnity. No wonder it was said that even supreme beings did not dare to step into the reincarnation sea. The reincarnation sea was filled with the chaotic power of time. Supreme beings only had a lifespan of 10,000 years. They would not be able to last long and would end up like that rabbit. Cousin, as long as we stay in the underworld ship and don't touch the reincarnation sea, it will affect us. Long Outyen's face was pale from fright. His eyes were wide open as he licked his lips and said. It was too strange. Buzz. At this moment, the underworld ship suddenly trembled. A faint black light spread out. The door of the cabin suddenly opened, and a gust of cold wind blew in. Young master, could it be a ghost? Shui Wei and the others jumped in fright. Their faces were pale as they held on to Ling Xiao's arm tightly. Their bodies were a little cold when the cold wind blew. Shui Wei, don't be afraid. I want to see the origin of this underworld ship. Let's get on the ship first. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of light as he patted Shui Wei's arm and comforted her. Although the reincarnation sea was strange and gave Ling Xiao a feeling of extreme danger, the underworld ship gave off a very strange feeling. Ling Xiao did not feel any danger. In the end, he decided to board the ship. Since Long Outyen was able to ride the underworld ship, there should not be any danger. Moreover, the underworld ship was trembling. Moreover, there was a black light spreading out as if it was about to set sail. If they did not board the ship now, they might miss it. That's right. This emperor wants to see what kind of demon dares to behave so atrociously. The old goat also gathered his courage and said. Let's go. Ling Xiao pulled Shui Wei and walked at the front. The moon goddess and Phoenix Maiden walked in the middle. Long Outyen pulled the old goat's tail and walked at the back. They stepped on the soft sand and slowly boarded the underworld ship. The surroundings were very quiet. It was as if the sound of the waves could not be heard. Only the squeaking of the sand could be heard, causing people's hair to stand on end. Only when Ling Xiao and the rest boarded the underworld ship and entered the cabin did everyone let out a sigh of relief. The cabin was not as dark as they imagined. There were a few tables and chairs. Moreover, there was a burning lamp that brightly lit the cabin. However, the lamp seemed to be a bit green, causing the cabin to have a strange atmosphere. You scared this emperor to death. Like I said, this place is very clean. The old goat let out a sigh of relief. However, his eyes widened and suddenly quivered. All the hair on his body stood up. The old goat felt that his tail was grabbed by someone. Long Outyen, can you and that bastard not pull my tail? The old goat said in a flustered and exasperated manner. I did not grab your tail. Long Outyen innocently stretched out his hands. Suddenly, the old goat and Long Outyen felt a chill. As if they thought of something, they shouted at the same time and suddenly hugged each other. Ghost! A sharp voice sounded. In this strange atmosphere, it caused people's scalps to tingle. The old goat and Long Outyen walked at the back. If it was not Long Outyen who grabbed the old goat's tail, then who was it? There is no ghost. Don't bark, it's the cabin door that caught your tail. Ling Xiao was also shocked by these two clowns. He quickly walked over to check and helplessly said. It turned out that the cabin door had silently closed without anyone noticing. It happened to catch the old goat's tail. Chapter 436. Little brat, what are you yelling about? Even if there is a ghost, I will turn it into ashes. The old goat glared at Long Outyen. What does that have to do with me? You are the one yelling, okay? I, Long Outyen, am blessed by the heavens and earth. I am immune to all evil. What kind of bullshit ghost is this? Come out and show me. Long Outyen said, unwilling to be outdone. Alright, stop fooling around, you two. Go and check the underworld ship. We will be spending the next few months on this ship. Let's get to the bottom of this ship first. Ling Xiao said helplessly. At this moment, the underworld ship buzzed and the water outside swayed. The underworld ship had set sail. Ling Xiao, there is a room here. While Ling Xiao was in a daze, the Phoenix Maiden and the Moon Goddess voices came. Ling Xiao did not have time to think about why the underworld ship had set sail. He hurriedly walked over with the old goat and Long Outyin. The underworld ship was not big. It only had 2 floors. The cabin was very spacious. Other than some tables and chairs, there was nothing else. The Moon Goddess and the Phoenix Maiden found a room at the bottom of the cabin. It looked very hidden, which aroused everyone's curiosity. I know this room. I saw it when I came. There is nothing inside, Long Outyin said as he followed Ling Xiao. However, when they reached the room, Long Outyin was stunned. His eyes revealed a trace of shock. That's not right. When I came, there was nothing. Why is there an extra thing? Long Outyin's voice was trembling. This was because there was a black coffin in the room. The coffin looked to be 3 feet long and 1 foot wide. There were many mysterious patterns on it. It was like the scene of the ancient people worshipping the gods. There were also many unintelligible scribbles. Are you sure this black coffin was not here when you came? Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of seriousness. I am sure. When I came, I checked the underworld ship. There is nothing here. It is very peaceful. Long Outyin said. The sudden appearance of the black coffin made him somewhat incredulous. But this black coffin grew together with the underworld ship. If I am not wrong, the underworld ship is made of 1,000,000-year-old Een Soul wood. This black coffin is also made of 1,000,000-year-old Een Soul wood. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of shock. What? 1,000,000-year-old Een Soul wood? A 10,000-year-old Een Soul wood can be used as a divine material to refine a supreme weapon, and you say that this is 1,000,000-year-old Een Soul wood? The old goat exclaimed, his eyes filled with disbelief. The Een Soul wood was incomparably precious. It was a top-notch Een attribute treasure. It was very rare to find a 1,000-year-old Een Soul wood, let alone a 10,000-year-old Een Soul wood. It was a supreme treasure for refining supreme weapons. But Ling Xiao actually said that this netherworld ship was made from 1,000,000-year-old Een Soul wood. This was too unbelievable. That's right. I once saw a thumb-sized piece of Een Soul wood. It was at the 1,000,000-year level and had the miraculous effect of bringing the dead back to life. Since the netherworld ship is 1,000,000-year-old Een Soul wood, then it really might have come from the legendary netherworld. Ling Xiao slowly said. He was even more shocked by the origins of the netherworld ship and the reincarnation sea. Using 1,000,000-year-old Een Soul wood as a coffin, I'm afraid even the gods don't have the qualifications to do so, right? Who is the person in the black coffin? The old goat's hair stood on end as he slowly said. Cousin, I think we should leave first. When I came, this black coffin was clearly not here. This is simply too strange. Long Outyin tightly grabbed the old goat's tail and wanted to leave the room. Alright, let's go. Ling Xiao also nodded, and everyone carefully left the room. Little brat, contribute some of your dragon blood. The old goat looked at Long Outyin and said. Long Outyin's eyes immediately revealed a vigilant look and asked, what are you planning to do? You are the legendary true dragon. The blood of a true dragon is invulnerable to all evil. It is strong and masculine. I'll use your blood to draw talismans and seal this room. This will prevent any unclean things from coming out of the black coffin to cause trouble. The old goat mischievously laughed. Why not use your blood? I feel that your blood is more useful than mine. Long Outyin somewhat unhappily said. How can my blood be more powerful than a true dragon's blood? Whether or not we can safely reach the war god continent will depend on you. Under the old goat's flattery, Long Outyen also felt a little smug. Finally, he heroically said, "All right, how much do you want?" "Let's start with 3 to 500 jin." The old goat shamelessly said. "Bastard, I don't think you want to draw talismans. You want my true dragon blood, right? I'll strangle you to death, don't speak nonsense. The existence in the black coffin is very powerful. Without 3 to 500 jin of true dragon blood, it is impossible to suppress it." In the end, the old goat and Long Outyen compromised. Long Outyen released 10 jin of true dragon blood and supervised the old goat to draw some tadpole-like runes on the door. However, it was strange. After the old goat drew the talismans, everyone's uneasy feeling dissipated. "This cabin is a little strange. Let's go to the second floor," Ling Xiao slowly said. After entering the Netherworld ship, Ling Xiao actually felt a sense of uncontrollability. It was as if something was wrong but he couldn't put his finger on it. On the second floor of the Netherworld ship, other than a canopy, there was nothing to block the view of the vast reincarnation ocean. At this moment, the sky was high and the sun was shining brightly. The Netherworld ship left the 8 Desolaces region. It didn't seem to be very fast, but it didn't take long for the 8 Desolaces region to disappear. The vast seawater all around looked calm. Under the illumination of the sun, there was a strange light. It seems like the reincarnation ocean is still calm. We have caught up with the right time. The old goat lazily lay on the deck, enjoying the sea breeze and the sun. From time to time, he would take out a spirit fruit to eat. He looked very satisfied. At the same time, the old goat felt a little heartache. The entire Netherworld ship was made of million-year-old Een spirit wood. This was a supreme treasure. However, he could only look at it and couldn't take it away. This made the old goat feel very uncomfortable. The moon god, Phoenix Maiden, and Shui Wei were also very curious. This vast sea made them nervous and excited. At the same time, they were looking forward to seeing the war god continent on the other side of the sea. Rumble. But at this moment, dark clouds rolled in the sky. Black lightning streaked across the void and the world instantly darkened. The originally tranquil reincarnation sea began to surge violently. Vast waves soared high into the sky. Under the impact of the waves, the Netherworld ship began to sway in all directions. "Not good, quickly return to the cabin." Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He saw that in the center of the distant sea, there was a terrifying storm brewing. Blazing lightning exploded and astral winds rolled. It contained a power that could suppress everything. Chapter 437. It's the reincarnation storm. Long Outyen's eyes revealed a trace of shock. Above the distant sea, dark clouds were rolling and the waves were surging. It was unknown how high it was, but it emitted a vast and mysterious power that covered the sky. That kind of power made one's scalp tingle. The reincarnation storm is extremely terrifying. It will tear everything apart. If the adventurer ships on the reincarnation sea encounter the reincarnation storm, they will be instantly torn to pieces. Fortunately, we are on the Netherworld ship. The Netherworld ship should be able to withstand the reincarnation storm. Everyone, quickly return to the cabin. Long Outyen yelled. He knew how terrifying the reincarnation storm was. If they were swept away by that power, even sovereigns would be in great danger. Ling Xiao and the rest quickly retreated to the cabin. Not long after, a loud rumbling sound could be heard. It was as if countless waves of seawater were slapping on the Netherworld ship. The Netherworld ship floated on the waves, but it was extremely stable. Ling Xiao and the rest, who were originally prepared to face the storm, were astonished. The Netherworld ship was extremely stable, without any turbulence. Buzz! The Netherworld ship began to tremble. Traces of black light spread out, as if it was resisting the terrifying reincarnation storm. The Netherworld ship that gave people a strange feeling actually made them feel at ease at this moment. This netherworld ship is really strange. Shui Wei blinked her large eyes. There was a trace of black light flickering in her eyes. Young master, I feel that this netherworld ship is very familiar. There is an indescribable feeling. Shui Wei looked at Ling Xiao and said. Familiar? Ling Xiao was slightly stunned. His heart couldn't help but tremble. Could it be because of the 9 Nether bloodline? The 9 Nether bloodline was a top-notch martial Dao bloodline. As long as one didn't fall, it could almost be said that one would become a sovereign expert. However, the 9 Nether bloodline was also very mysterious. It was like the 9 Nether sovereign in his previous life, appearing out of thin air. What was the relationship between the 9 Nether bloodline and the netherworld ship? Young master, I feel that the thing inside the black coffin that we saw before is very extraordinary. It seems to be somewhat related to me. Shui Wei's small face was a little pale. Her eyes were filled with doubt as she spoke out her intuition. That black coffin. Ling Xiao's gaze shook. Shui Wei's little icy cold little hands, and the 9 Nether bloodline in her body had a trace of violent tendencies. Let's go, let's see what's inside the black coffin. Ling Xiao made a prompt decision and prepared to go to the black coffin to investigate. The old goat immediately stopped Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao, don't move recklessly. If there's really a powerful monster in the black coffin, we won't even have a place to escape on the reincarnation sea. That. Heavens. 2. Ling Xiao decided. The old goat and Long Outyen were helpless and did not continue to stop them. Everyone came to the front of the room. That's strange. Where's the Big Dipper earthly fiend ghost-suppressing talisman that I drew? The old goat exclaimed. His eyes were wide open. He used the true dragon's blood in Long Outyen's body to draw the talisman. Now, there was nothing on the wooden door of the room. This made his hair stand on end. Ling Xiao's eyes also revealed a trace of sharpness. I want to see what kind of demon is inside the black coffin. Creak. Pushing the door open, the surroundings were incomparably silent. It was dark in front of them. After Phoenix Maiden took out a luminous pearl, the entire room lit up. The black coffin was placed in the center of the room. At this moment, the talismans on it began to emit a faint light. The aura was very cold, making people feel uneasy. Ling Xiao walked around the black coffin and realized that the coffin lid was only placed on top. It was not nailed shut. All of you, move aside. I'm going to open the coffin. Ling Xiao looked at the old goat and the rest and said slowly. Be careful. The old goat could not help but remind him. Ling Xiao smiled and gave the old goat a reassuring look. Then, he grabbed one end of the coffin lid and suddenly exploded with unparalleled divine strength. Rumble. Although the lid of the coffin was not nailed shut, it was extremely heavy. With Ling Xiao's current strength, he could even move a small mountain. However, when he unleashed his full strength, he only managed to move the black coffin slowly, revealing what was inside. After the coffin lid was opened, Ling Xiao saw the scene inside the coffin and was instantly shocked. The old goat and the rest also walked up. When they saw the interior of the coffin, everyone's face was filled with shock. Buzz! Strands of black light dissipated and traces of cold aura filled the air. In the end, Ling Xiao and the rest shuddered and immediately woke up. What's going on? You. What did you see? Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with disbelief. Then, he raised his head and looked at everyone. I saw an ancestral dragon spanning thousands of miles. Its entire body was dazzling with golden light, mysterious and unfathomable. Could it be that the ancestral dragon is buried in this black coffin? Long Outyen's eyes widened. His delicate little face was filled with disbelief. What ancestral dragon? It's clearly a primordial ferocious beast that feeds on true dragons. It's a supreme existence that devours the heavens and earth. The old goat retorted. I saw a true phoenix that swept away the gods of the primordial era. It was immortal. The Phoenix Girl also said what she saw. I saw a person, a peerless beauty. With a wave of her hand, the stars in the sky shook and countless heavenly demon kings turned into ashes. The moon god's eyes revealed a strange look. Everyone looked at each other and could see the shock in each other's eyes. Everyone saw a different scene inside the black coffin. This black coffin was too strange. What did you see? The old goat looked at Ling Xiao and could not help but ask. I saw myself. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a glimmer of light. He saw that the person lying in the black coffin was a supreme expert that was worshipped by all living beings. He had fought in all 9 heavens and 10 lands and swept through all worlds. However, his face was exactly the same as Ling Xiao's. What? Everyone's expression changed as they hurriedly looked inside the black coffin. Chapter 438. This black coffin is too demonic. Perhaps it has some kind of illusory power that tricked all of us. Ling Xiao, you should quickly lock it up. The old goat shuddered as he recalled the illusory demonic ancient tree in the longevity's secret realm. Perhaps this black coffin was like the illusory demonic ancient tree, possessing some kind of illusory power. No, where did Shuewei go? Ling Xiao's entire body shook as his eyes revealed a trace of anxiety. He discovered that Shuewei had disappeared. The room was brightly lit under the illumination of the night pearl, but Shuewei had disappeared. Did Shuewei come down with us? Where did she go? Everyone felt a chill run down their backs. This feeling that was beyond their imagination and control was too unbearable. It was as if there was some kind of terrifying existence staring at them from the unseen world, its eyes filled with hatred and coldness. I'll go up and take a look. The moon goddess left the room and went up to the cabin to look for Shuewei. In the end, she searched everywhere but still couldn't find Shuewei's whereabouts. It's because of this black coffin. Return Shuewei to me. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. His entire body exuded an unparalleled power as he suddenly punched the black coffin. Ling Xiao's blood qi was vast and powerful. It was like a golden lightning bolt streaking across the sky, wanting to shatter the black coffin with one punch. But the strange thing was that when Ling Xiao's fist landed on the black coffin, there was no sound at all. The unparalleled power seemed to have been neutralized by the black coffin. Young master, what are you doing? Shuewei's voice suddenly came from the black coffin. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He didn't know when Shuewei had run into the black coffin. At this moment, she stood up and looked at Ling Xiao with some confusion. Shuewei, when did you run into the coffin? Come out quickly. Ling Xiao shook his head and realized that his eyes weren't playing tricks on him. It was indeed Shuewei standing in the black coffin. He immediately spoke sternly. Young master, didn't you let me in? Also, you made me memorize these scribbles. Shuewei felt a little wronged, but she still obediently walked out of the black coffin. I let you in. When did I let you in? Ling Xiao's body shook as he suddenly looked inside the black coffin. There were no other strange scenes. There were only a few dozen ancient black words recorded inside the black coffin, looking extremely mysterious. Just a glance at them made Ling Xiao's head was dizzy. Wang! Suddenly, the wordless heavenly book trembled slightly. Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness was filled with a cool aura. His mind instantly became extremely clear, and the dozens of ancient black characters were clearly imprinted in Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness. A total of 81 ancient characters appeared on the wordless heavenly book, emitting a black glow. It looked a little strange. Could it be that those illusions earlier were all created by these 81 ancient characters? These 81 ancient characters were able to attract the attention of the wordless heavenly book. Could it be a powerful secret technique? Ling Xiao's eyes flickered. He was extremely shocked. At this moment, he could clearly see that apart from the 81 ancient characters, there was nothing else in the black coffin. Moreover, after Ling Xiao memorized those ancient words, all 81 ancient words disappeared. It was extremely strange. Shui Wei, are you alright? Ling Xiao asked Shui Wei worriedly. Earlier, he was intimidated by the mysterious power of the black coffin and actually did not notice when Shui Wei entered the black coffin. Young master, I'm fine. I'm just a little dizzy. Shui Wei's small face became increasingly pale. She smiled at Ling Xiao and then fainted. Shui Wei. Ling Xiao's heart clenched. He hurriedly carried Shui Wei, ignoring the strangeness of the black coffin, and went straight into the cabin of the ship. Shui Wei's forehead was boiling hot. The blood in her body seemed to be boiling. There was a strange energy that exploded, emitting an extremely hot aura. Furthermore, Ling Xiao could feel that the cultivation in Shui Wei's body was being rapidly devoured by the blood. It was as though she was thirsting for the energy of heaven and earth. This is the fluctuation of the 9 nether blood meridians awakening? Ling Xiao was shocked. Shui Wei's 9 nether blood meridians had already awakened once in the Changshan sect. At that time, Ling Xiao thought that the power of Shui Wei's blood meridians had completely exploded. However, he did not expect that because of the 81 ancient characters, Shui Wei's 9 nether blood meridians would actually explode once again. Unlike the eruption of 9 nether cold chi last time, Shui Wei was surrounded by black flames this time. Her entire body began to emit a mysterious and scorching aura. Ling Xiao hurriedly took out 1 million spirit crystals and set up a simple spirit gathering array around Shui Wei. Boom! Before Ling Xiao could finish setting up the spirit gathering array, the 1 million spirit crystals exploded at the same time. They turned into a spiritual energy storm and swarmed towards Shui Wei's pores. Furthermore, Ling Xiao could feel that Shui Wei's cultivation was increasing rapidly. In less than 15 minutes, the 1 million spirit crystals were used up. Ling Xiao took out another 5 million spirit crystals. The 5 million spirit crystals exploded and turned into a spiritual energy storm, which was absorbed by Shui Wei. A mysterious energy seemed to be awakening in her blood meridians. It was vast and mysterious. Just like that, Ling Xiao took out a total of 50 million spirit crystals. Only then did Shui Wei's aura gradually calm down. A black flame enveloped Shui Wei. Ling Xiao could feel that Shui Wei's aura was very stable. Furthermore, it was gradually becoming stronger. Only then did he slowly relax. 9 nether bloodline. I've never heard of a second awakening of the 9 nether bloodline. Where did this little girl come from? The old goat's gaze was also solemn. He walked around Shui Wei and muttered to himself. The moon goddess and phoenix maiden were also very shocked. In such a short time, Shui Wei's cultivation had broken through the Grandmaster realm. Moreover, it was climbing towards the celestial realm at a speed visible to the naked eye. Boom! After a few hours, Shui Wei's cultivation had completely reached the first level of the celestial realm. Her aura gradually calmed down. However, there was still a black flame enveloping her. She was undergoing a mysterious transformation. Everyone, stay in the cabin. Don't wander around. Although the underworld ship is very strange, there shouldn't be any danger. We'll definitely reach the God of War continent safely. Ling Xiao said slowly. That's right. Once the reincarnation storm passes, we'll reach the God of War continent in less than 3 months. Perhaps feeling that everyone's nerves were tense, Long Outyan smiled and comforted them. In the following time, Ling Xiao guarded the Phoenix Maiden while consolidating his cultivation. At the same time, he comprehended several secret techniques. Currently, Ling Xiao had obtained a total of 4 secret techniques from the Wordless Heavenly Book: the Sky-Devouring Secret Technique, the Ancestral Dragon Secret Technique, the Teleportation Secret Technique, and the True Phoenix Secret Technique. Among them, Ling Xiao had made some progress in cultivating the Sky-Devouring Secret Technique and the Ancestral Dragon Secret Technique. Only the Teleportation Secret Technique and the True Phoenix Secret Technique were still superficial. He needed to calm down and comprehend them. The more Ling Xiao cultivated, the more he felt the power of the secret techniques recorded in the Wordless Heavenly Book. Although they weren't as domineering as the Supreme Sutra in the beginning, they contained the principles of heaven and earth and endless mysteries. Chapter 439. Shui Wei was shrouded in black flames, and her aura was mysterious. Strands of black light intertwined, forming mysterious ancient runes. Ling Shao comprehended the secret techniques while protecting Shui Wei. The Samsara storm lasted for more than a month, and the underworld ship also drifted on the Samsara Sea for more than a month. Now, the sea was vast, and Ling Shao didn't know where he was. He just hoped that the underworld ship would reach the shore as soon as possible and reach the war god continent. Cousin, the Crystal Palace rejects the human race. If you follow me back to the Crystal Palace like this, it will be difficult to save Aunt. If you can awaken the true dragon bloodline in your body, you will be considered a member of the dragon race. Then, it will be much easier for father to accept you. After staying on the Netherworld ship for a month, Long Outyen was about to go crazy. Suddenly, he thought of something and said to Ling Shao. The true dragon bloodline in my body. I can feel that the power of the bloodline in my body is extraordinary, but there seems to be a layer of bloodline shackles that prevents me from awakening the power of the bloodline. Perhaps when my cultivation is higher, I will be able to break through that layer of shackles. Bloodline shackle? Long Outyen was a little surprised. The children of the human race and dragon race usually have very weak true dragon bloodline, and it is easy to awaken it. However, I can feel that the power in your body is very terrifying. Once it is awakened, it will be extraordinary. Even Long Outyen didn't understand why it was so difficult to awaken the true dragon bloodline in Ling Xiao's body. No matter how powerful it is, it can't be compared to you. To have such terrifying physical strength at the age of 5, your bloodline should have reached the true dragon level, right? Ling Xiao looked at Long Outyen and said. Just like the ancestral dragon secret technique that Ling Xiao cultivated, the dragon race's bloodline was also divided into Flood Dragon Bloodline, Earth Dragon Bloodline, Flying Dragon Bloodline, Sky Dragon Bloodline, True Dragon Bloodline, Divine Dragon Bloodline, and Ancestral Dragon Bloodline. Generally speaking, when the dragon race was born, their bloodline was already fixed. If they wanted to increase the level of their bloodline through hard work, they would have to encounter heaven-defying treasures, or they could transform from a mortal to a god. The evolution of life would also allow their bloodline to evolve. However, from what Ling Xiao understood, the strongest dragon king in the Crystal Palace, Long Outyen's father, was merely a true dragon bloodline expert. Only those with the bloodline of the true dragon could inherit the position of Dragon King. The reason why Long Outyen was so monstrous was because he was born with the bloodline of the true dragon. His future was limitless. I, Long Outyen, have been blessed by the heavens. My talent is peerless. How can an ordinary person compare to me? In the entire Crystal Palace, only father and I have the bloodline of the true dragon. However, I have high hopes for you. If you can awaken the bloodline of the true dragon, father will definitely let Aunt go on account of you. Long Outyen said arrogantly. Ling Xiao nodded and said, You're right, this is a good idea. Ling Xiao has the ancestral dragon secret skill. When he cultivates to the true dragon body, he will naturally possess the true dragon bloodline. At that time, even that cheap uncle of his will have to give him some face. Roar! At this moment, a clear dragon's roar rang out. The black flames that had enveloped Shui Wei actually revolved in the air before turning into a black dragon and fusing into Shui Wei's forehead. Boom! A terrifying aura emanated from Shui Wei's body, causing the entire underworld ship to tremble. Then, an endless amount of black light gushed out and surged into Shui Wei's body. A black mark appeared between Shui Wei's eyebrows. It looked very mysterious. It was like a vast starry sky that contained an endless amount of dark energy. What? Ling Xiao's eyes widened. At this moment, the aura emanating from Shui Wei's body made him feel extreme danger. Strange, this is too strange. Shui Wei clearly possesses the 9 nether bloodline. Now, she has awakened another bloodline. How can a person possess the power of two bloodlines? The old goat ran over, his eyes filled with disbelief. One is the Nine Nether bloodline. The other seems to be the bloodline of the dragon clan. However, it's a black dragon. Black dragon, Ling Xiao's gaze turned serious as well. At this moment, the black light surged into Shui Wei's body. Shui Wei slowly opened her eyes. Young master, what's going on? Shui Wei's eyes were filled with confusion. Ling Xiao carefully examined Shui Wei's bloodline. He found that there was indeed another mysterious power aside from the Nine Nether bloodline. Moreover, the two had merged together without any signs of conflict. Ling Xiao breathed a sigh of relief and comforted her, "Don't worry. Your Nine Nether bloodline has awakened again. Look at your current cultivation base." Shui Wei felt her cultivation base at the first layer of the sky human realm and opened her mouth wide in shock. She felt as if she had fallen asleep. When she woke up, her cultivation base had risen from the dragon tiger realm to the first layer of the sky human realm. This terrifying speed made Ling Xiao feel inferior. I've actually reached the first layer of the sky human realm. That's great. I won't be a burden to young master anymore. I can protect young master now. Shui Wei smiled like a flower. Her big eyes were filled with surprise. Her long eyelashes fluttered, making her look very cute. That's right. Our Shui Wei is really amazing. Ling Xiao dotingly patted Shui Wei's little head. Phoenix Maiden suddenly ran in from the second deck. Her eyes revealed a trace of seriousness as she said, "Ling Xiao, something happened." What happened? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. The underworld ship stopped. Ling Xiao, Old Goat, and the others trembled. The underworld ship seemed to have some special mission. From the Eight Desolates region to the War God continent, it would only stop for a month. On the Reincarnation Sea, it would not stop at all. Ling Xiao quickly went to the second deck. The reincarnation storm had already disappeared. The sky was high and the clouds were light. The sun shone brightly, and the air was very humid. However, the underworld ship stopped at the center of the Reincarnation Sea, motionless. It shouldn't be. The underworld ship has never stopped at the Reincarnation Sea. What's going on? Long Outyen was also very puzzled. Could it be? Old Goat and Ling Xiao looked at each other. Shui Wei had just awakened a second mysterious power and caused the underworld ship to shake. Could it be because of Shui Wei? Ling Xiao, look over there. There's a huge ship over there. Moon Goddess's eyes lit up. She suddenly saw a jet-black ship in front of the underworld ship. It was emitting a faint light as it rode the wind and broke through the waves. We're saved. That huge ship must be an adventurer ship on the Reincarnation Sea. Those who own such adventurer ships are all great powers and great clans. They often come to the Reincarnation Sea to explore and search for treasures. As long as we board the ship, we can safely return to the War God continent. Chapter 440. Although the Reincarnation Sea was terrifying and filled with life, even powerful treasures and Dao tools would be corroded into scrap metal when they came into contact with the Reincarnation Sea. However, there were some powerful forces that used special heavenly treasures to refine huge ships and set up powerful restriction formations. They would often explore the Reincarnation Sea in search of treasures. Although the Reincarnation Sea was a forbidden area, it was rumored that there were caves left behind by powerful experts and even precious heavenly treasures. To be able to withstand the terrifying reincarnation power of the Reincarnation Sea, the treasures left behind were all top-grade heavenly treasures. Moreover, there were many islands in the Reincarnation Sea. There were precious spiritual herbs and treasures on them, which made many people scramble for them. This netherworld ship is too strange. It actually stopped here. Fortunately, there is always a way out. Let's quickly send a signal to that adventurer ship. Long Outyen was very excited. After more than a month of fear, he had really had enough. He didn't want to stay on the netherworld ship for a moment longer. Rumble. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. A resplendent divine light soared into the sky from his hand and exploded in the void. It was dazzling and resplendent, emitting a deafening sound. After the adventurer's ship saw the signal, it slowly approached. The black adventurer's ship was like a small moving mountain. One could see many people on it. The leader was a middle-aged man wearing a black robe. He looked very kind, but his aura was very strong. He was already a noble realm expert. The adventurer's ship stopped 3,000 feet away from the netherworld ship. Although the black-robed middle-aged man was very kind, his eyes were filled with vigilance and shock. "Who are you people?" the middle-aged man slowly asked. "Uncle, we are also people who came to the reincarnation sea to explore. However, we encountered a reincarnation storm and the adventurer's ship we were on was torn apart. We accidentally encountered the netherworld ship and luckily escaped with our lives. We hope that uncle can bring us back to the war god continent. We will definitely repay you generously." Long Outyen stood out and pretended to be pitiful. His delicate appearance was enough to make anyone's heart soften a little. The vigilance in the black-robed middle-aged man's eyes faded a little. However, he still asked, "Which family are you from? What adventurer's ship are you on?" Long Outyen was about to answer when Ling Xiao saw the golden pattern on the black-robed middle-aged man's sleeve. His eyes flashed as he smiled and said, "We are independent cultivators. We don't belong to any sect. We are on the adventurer's ship of the Nantian family. The Nantian family started with trade." The golden pattern on the black-robed middle-aged man's sleeve made Ling Xiao guess the origin of the adventurer's ship. He was afraid that Long Outyen would spill the beans. With him. "So it's the guests on the Nantian family's adventure ship. We are the Precious Treasure Pavilion's adventure ship. It's not impossible to board the adventure ship and return to the war god continent, but everyone has to pay 10 pure yang pills or 1 million spirit crystals." The black-robed middle-aged man checked the cultivation of Ling Xiao and the others. The highest cultivation level among them was Phoenix Girl, who was only at the 9th level of the celestial being realm. Ling Xiao had concealed his aura with the sky-devouring secret skill, so he only revealed his cultivation level at the 9th level of the master realm. Long Outyen and the old goat could not see through him. Therefore, when he felt that these people were not dangerous, he thought about it and agreed to accept them. Ling Xiao smiled. The black-robed middle-aged man was not a bad person. 1 million spiritual crystals was a fair price. He did not take advantage of the situation. "Okay. Open the bounded domain." The black-robed middle-aged man nodded and gave the order. There was a bright bounded domain outside the adventurer's ship. It was to prevent the storm in the Samsara Sea. After the bounded domain was opened, Ling Xiao and the others were relieved. They jumped onto the ship. "Sir, here are the spiritual crystals for the 6 of us." Ling Xiao handed the black-robed middle-aged man a storage ring with 6 million spiritual crystals in it. The black-robed middle-aged man took it and checked it with his primordial spirit. He nodded and said with a smile, "My name is Han Chao. I am the deacon of the treasure pavilion. You can do whatever you want. We have finished our mission and are about to return to the war god continent." After saying that, Han Chao looked at the moon goddess and the phoenix girl in surprise. These 2 women were too beautiful. One was as cold as the goddess of the moon palace, and the other was charming and enchanting. They had different temperaments, but each had her own merits. Shui Wei was very young, but she was very beautiful. She was a beauty in the making. Together with a goat and a 5 or 6-year-old boy, the combination of the 6 was very strange. However, Han Chao was only slightly surprised. He turned and left. There were many people on the deck, from the Grand Master realm to the noble realm. They all looked at Ling Xiao and the others with different expressions. The moon goddess and the phoenix maiden, in particular, caused quite a commotion in the crowd. Many young experts' eyes were burning with passion. Ling Xiao frowned slightly. He felt some malicious gazes. He said, let's go over there. He had just come to this adventurer's ship and didn't know anything. Ling Xiao wanted to keep a low profile. Just then, a group of people walked over from the opposite side of Ling Xiao and the others. They were led by a man and a woman. The man held a folding fan and wore a brocade robe. He was very handsome, but his eyes looked flirtatious. The woman wore a red dress. She was very beautiful. Although she didn't look as beautiful as the moon goddess and the phoenix girl, she had her own charm. There was a kind of arrogance and coldness in her eyes. It was as if she didn't care about anything. The young man in the brocade robe was bored. However, when he saw the moon goddess and the phoenix girl, he couldn't look away. The woman in the red dress was shocked. Moon god and phoenix lady were not only beautiful, but their presence made the woman in the red dress feel like she was not as good as them. Ladies, I am Feng Yuan, a member of the Feng family in Tianfeng City. May I know your names? Where do you live? The young man in the brocade robe smiled. He thought that he was very handsome. His eyes were filled with passion. It was as if his soul had been taken away. Feng Yuan had to admit that he had seen countless women. However, the two in front of him were definitely the best of the best. They weren't any weaker than the saintesses and princesses of the legendary Holy Lands. They shocked him. Get out of the way. The phoenix girl's eyes showed a trace of disgust. Although Feng Yuan was at the 6th level of the celestial realm, the phoenix girl could tell what he was thinking at a glance. Ling Xiao's face showed a strange expression. Although he knew that the moon goddess and the phoenix girl were very beautiful, he didn't expect to see a good show of a young ruffian flirting with an innocent woman as soon as he boarded the adventurer ship. Should he jump out to save the damsel in distress? Chapter 441. What are you laughing at? Feng Yuan's eyes darkened when he saw the smile on Ling Xiao's face. Ling Xiao rubbed his nose and said innocently, "Brother, these two are my wives." You're flirting with my wives. Do you think I don't exist? The moon goddess and the phoenix girl froze. The phoenix girl glared at Ling Xiao, but she didn't refute. This Feng Yuan looked very annoying. Ling Xiao could teach him a lesson. They're both your wives. Ha ha ha. Feng Yuan laughed out loud as if he had heard a joke. His eyes were full of mockery as he said, "Kid, why don't you take a piss and look at yourself? You're only at the master realm. You're like an ant. How dare you say that these two ladies are your wives? Get lost if you don't want to die. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude." When the numerous martial artists on the adventurer ship saw Ling Xiao and Feng Yuan arguing, their eyes revealed expressions of schadenfreude. Although Feng Yuan's character wasn't good, the Feng family in Tianfeng City was a big family. Although they couldn't be compared to those hidden ancient families with sovereigns, they still had emperors. Ling Xiao wasn't angry. He smiled and said, "They are indeed my wives. If you don't believe me, you can ask them yourself." Long Outyan suddenly jumped out and hugged the phoenix girl's arm. He stared innocently and said, "Mother, this bad guy is too shameless. He dares to bully father. Why don't I beat him up?" The phoenix girl's body trembled. Her forehead was full of black lines, but she couldn't refute. She could only say indifferently, "Okay, I don't like this kid either. Be gentle. Don't kill him." Feng Yuan's face stiffened immediately. These two beauties were really this kid's wives. He actually had such a big child. Feng Yuan's heart was full of resentment and unwillingness. How could this kid have two beautiful wives? "Hey, green-haired monster, my mother asked me to beat you up. If you don't want to be beaten, kneel down and kowtow to my mother." Long Outyan stared and pointed at Feng Yuan. There was a green hairpin on Feng Yuan's head that tied up his hair. At this moment, it was glowing green. He really looked like a green-haired monster. Everyone suddenly burst into laughter. "Little bastard, I'll kill you." Feng Yuan's face was extremely red, and his eyes were filled with anger. He was actually mocked by a 5 or 6-year-old child. He immediately threw a punch towards Long Outyin. Oh no, something is going to happen to this beautiful little doll. Feng Yuan is really shameless. He can even do such a cute little child. Everyone suddenly exclaimed, and a trace of sympathy appeared in their eyes. Feng Yuan and Long Outyin were very close to each other. When the fist landed, blazing innate true qi surged, containing a powerful force, smashing towards Long Outyin. No one thought that Feng Yuan would actually attack a child. However, Ling Xiao, Moon Goddess, Phoenix Lady, and the others didn't seem to want to stop him. Instead, their eyes were filled with mockery. To dare take action against a true dragon, Feng Yuan was really tired of living. Boom! A golden light flashed in Long Outyin's eyes and he threw a punch with his chubby little hand. It was like a bolt of golden lightning that contained boundless power. Crack! A crisp sound of bones breaking could be heard. Accompanied by Feng Yuan's miserable scream, he was immediately sent flying. His arm was shattered into pieces, and his flesh was badly mutilated. It was extremely miserable. What? Everyone's body trembled, and a trace of disbelief appeared in their eyes. Such a 5 or 6-year-old little boy, who looked like he was carved out of jade, was very cute, and actually crippled Feng Yuan's arm with one punch. No matter how useless Feng Yuan was, he was still an expert in the celestial realm. It was impossible for him to be so weak. Where did this little boy come from? The woman in the red dress beside Feng Yuan also changed her expression, and the subordinates behind her quickly helped Feng Yuan up. One of Feng Yuan's arms was completely shattered, and he was screaming like a pig being slaughtered. His handsome face was extremely distorted, and his eyes were filled with fear and anger. Kill him, kill all of them. Feng Yuan was completely crazy, and he shouted while pointing at Ling Xiao and Long Outyin. There was an old man in a gray robe behind Feng Yuan. His aura was unfathomable, and he was an expert in the noble realm. Even he didn't see how Long Outyin did it. At this moment, he recovered from the shock, and an extremely sharp light appeared in his eyes. Uncle Feng, let me do it. The woman in the red dress stopped the old man in the gray robe who was about to make a move. She looked at Ling Xiao and the others with eyes full of surprise, and she wasn't angry because Feng Yuan was severely injured. Friend, even if Feng Yuan was in the wrong first, you shouldn't have hit him so hard, right? The woman in the red dress was called Lu Wan. She looked at Ling Xiao coldly and said. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and said, I believe you know very well who is right and who is wrong. He flirted with my wife, but he overestimated himself. He couldn't even beat my son, so who can he blame? Ling Xiao was very satisfied. He held Long Outyin in one hand and the Phoenix girl in the other. This time, he had gained a big advantage. Not only did he have 2 more wives, but he also had a son. The Phoenix girl's body stiffened. She gritted her teeth and wanted to beat Ling Xiao up, but at this moment, she could only endure it and squeeze out a smile on her face. Friend, how should I address you? I'm Lu Wan, of the Lu family in Sky Stars City. I would like to learn from you. Lu Wan's eyes were sharp as she stared at Ling Xiao and said. She could tell that Ling Xiao, the moon goddess and the Phoenix girl weren't husband and wife. However, the 2 of them didn't refute. Moreover, the strange little boy was willing to pretend to be Ling Xiao's son, so she couldn't expose him. She couldn't ignore Feng Yuan's injury. Hence, she stood out and wanted to fight with Ling Xiao. She's the Lu family's young lady. Legend has it that Lu Wan possesses the Sky Star bloodline. If one could cultivate with Lu Wan he could break through a realm in an instant. Just give up on that idea. Lu Wan is already engaged to Feng Peilong of Sky Stars City. The marriage between the 2 families isn't something that we can covet. Feng Peilong. Could it be the legendary Feng Peilong who was taken in as a disciple by the elder of the Sanctuary of Star Palace? No wonder the Lu family wants to have a marriage with the Feng family. They want to have a big tree to back them up. Isn't that so? The Lu family has been on the decline for the past few years. There's only one emperor to take care of the family. If they don't look for strong reinforcements, they won't be able to protect Sky Star's city. The crowd discussed animatedly and their eyes were filled with astonishment. Miss Lu Wan was only in her early 20s, but she was already at the 6th level of the Sky Human realm. She was extremely talented. If she were to cultivate with Feng Pei Long, both of them would have a chance to break through to the noble realm. Chapter 442. When Ling Xiao heard the words Stellar Sky City, his eyes revealed a trace of light. Tianxing City's Lu family. What's your relationship with Tianxing Lu Gachin? Ling Xiao asked. How dare you call our ancestor by his name? Lu Wan's eyes flashed coldly, and her face was as cold as frost. Ancestor? So you are the descendants of Tianxing Lu Gachin. Sorry for the disrespect. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a strange light. Tianxing Lu Gachin was Ling Xiao's 6th disciple. Ling Xiao didn't expect to meet Lu Gachin's descendant here 10,000 years later. I have some connections with Tianxing Lu Gachin. Since you are his descendant, I'll let you go. In the future, you must know that there is always someone better than you. Otherwise, if you encounter an unreasonable demon, I'm afraid you will suffer a great loss. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Ha ha ha. You have connections with Tianxing Lu Gachin. You're not worthy. Don't listen to this kid's nonsense. Kill him and avenge me. Feng Yuan laughed, his eyes full of ridicule and cold killing intent. Lu frowned and said coldly, Oh. You have connections with our ancestor? What's the connection? She was very unhappy with Ling Xiao's indifferent and calm attitude. Obviously, she didn't believe that Ling Xiao had connections with Tianxing Lu Gachin. The Lu family was a supreme family. Although it was now weak, it was not comparable to ordinary families. Naturally, many people would use the pretense of having connections with Tianxing Lu Gachin to cling to the Lu family. In Lu Wan's view, Ling Xiao was such a person. What connection? I'm afraid you won't know. Let's not talk about it. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. He had felt a familiar aura on Lu Wan before. It turned out that she was Lu Gachin's descendant. Although Lu Gachin was Ling Xiao's 6th true disciple 10,000 years ago, his talent was outstanding. He had the Tianxing sacred body and proved his Tao with the star law. Now that the Lu family had declined, it seemed that Lu Gachin should be dead. Ling Xiao's heart was full of desolation. He didn't want to continue entangling with Lu Wan, Feng Yuan, and the others. What a joke. There are at least 9,000 people who claim to be related to the ancestor, but in the end, all of them were proven to be liars. If you can't give a reason, don't blame me for being impolite when you blaspheme the ancestor like this. Lu Wan sneered. The light in her eyes was like a star, emitting a cold and sharp light. How do you want to be rude? Ling Xiao smiled faintly. His eyes revealed a hint of playfulness. Since she was the descendant of the 6th disciple, Lu Gachin, Ling Xiao did not mind giving Lu Wan some pointers. He wanted to see how her family's martial arts were progressing. Lu Wan's eyes revealed a trace of coldness, and her body exuded a powerful aura. Oh no, look what that is. Someone exclaimed with a solemn look in his eyes. In front of them, the waves of the Samsara ocean were boundless. A white, jade-like ship broke through the waves and arrived in front of the adventurer's ship in the blink of an eye. Ha ha ha. Everyone, listen up. Hand over half of all your treasures and 10 women to me. Then, I can spare your lives. A one-eyed man stood on the white jade ship. He held a black saber in his hand. His black robe fluttered in the wind, and his aura was extremely powerful. As he laughed, the void seemed to tremble. He pointed the black saber in his hand at the adventurer's ship, and a wild smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. It's the pirates. Oh no, the pirates are here. Everyone on the adventurer's ship trembled and immediately exclaimed. Their eyes revealed an extremely fearful expression. It's the Poison Dragon Emperor, one of the 18 bandits of the Samsara Ocean. The Poison Dragon Emperor has a bad temper. I heard that any adventurer's ship that he takes a fancy to will sink in the Samsara Ocean if they dare to disobey him. He only wants half of the treasures and 10 women. Why do I feel like he's cheating? Everyone was discussing animatedly, and some were bewildered. Fellow Poison Dragon, my precious treasure pavilion, and you have minded our own business. Could it be that you really want to offend my precious treasure pavilion? A powerful aura spread out, and an old man with white hair and a beard and a red robe walked out of the adventurer's ship. His eyes were as deep as the stars as he looked indifferently at the Poison Dragon Emperor. Emperor? Ling Zhao's pupils constricted. This old man was also an emperor. Judging from his aura, he was not much weaker than the Poison Dragon Emperor, which made Ling Zhao feel a powerful threat. Shen Qianshan. I didn't expect an old fart like you to be on the adventurer's ship. But I'll say it here. If you don't hand over half of the treasures and 10 women, all of you will die. The Poison Dragon Emperor's eyes revealed a trace of cruelty as he spoke coldly. Boom. At the same time, another 2 white jade ships sailed over from afar. They were like arrows that had left the bow. They were extremely fast and instantly surrounded the adventurer's ship. There were also many experts on the 2 white jade ships. The leaders were 2 black-clothed men, one fat and one thin. Their auras were incomparably powerful. They were actually emperors. The Bear Emperor and the Eagle Emperor. Could it be that you 18 bandits really want to start a war with my precious treasure pavilion? Shen Qianshan's expression became somewhat unsightly. The Poison Dragon Emperor was already very difficult to deal with. Who would have thought that 2 more emperors would come? Under the siege of 3 emperors, even Shen Qianshan would die without a doubt. How would we dare to start a war with the precious treasure pavilion? The precious treasure pavilion is the holy land of martial arts, one of the 5 pavilions. There are supreme experts overseeing it. We brothers only want to borrow some rations, half of the treasures, and 10 women for the little ones. Isn't that sincere enough? The Poison Dragon Emperor sneered. That's right. Elder Shen, we have already given you enough face. As long as you hand over half of the treasures and 10 women, you can leave safely. You must know that we brothers have never been so magnanimous before. We can be considered to have made an exception for you. The Bear Emperor and the Eagle Emperor also smiled faintly. Under the siege of the 3 pirate ships, it was simply impossible for the adventure ship to escape, not to mention that there were 3 emperors overseeing it. Shen Qianshan's expression was very unsightly. However, he also knew that if the adventure ship encountered the 18 bandits, not only would all the treasures be taken away, but all the men would also be killed and all the women taken away. Only half of the treasures and 10 women was indeed an exception. The main reason was that the precious treasure pavilion was a famous holy land of martial arts in the world. Even the 18 bandits did not dare to offend them too much. All right, I agree. Shen Qianshan almost gnashed his teeth in anger as he agreed. He took out the many treasures he had obtained in the Sea of Reincarnation this time. At the same time, he also gave 10 beautiful maids. As long as he could satisfy these pirates, he could be considered to have lost money to avoid disaster. Ha ha ha. Elder Shen, you really did not lie to me. These treasures and women are not bad. We will accept them. After the Poison Dragon Emperor checked it, he nodded in satisfaction. He had roamed the Sea of Reincarnation for countless years, so he naturally knew how much the adventure ship's harvest was. Therefore, he could clearly see that Shen Qianshan had indeed handed over half of the treasures. Moreover, although the cultivation of the 10 maids was not high, they were still considered beautiful. This made the Poison Dragon Emperor very satisfied. Shen Qianshan heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, these pirates were afraid of the precious treasure pavilion. Otherwise, it would be impossible for them to be so kind today. Lord Poison Dragon Emperor, how can those 10 vulgar women be worthy of your status? On our adventure ship, there are 2 outstanding beauties with peerless talent. They are not inferior to the Saintess and Empress of the Holy Land of Martial Arts. I think only they are worthy of Lord Poison Dragon Emperor. Just when Shen Qianshan thought that these pirates were going to leave, a cold and ear-piercing voice sounded. The person who spoke was Feng Yuan. As he spoke, he looked at Ling Xiao, Yueshan, Phoenix Maiden, and the others with a resentful and sneering gaze. Ling Xiao's heart sank. He instantly understood what Feng Yuan was planning. Chapter 443. Ling Xiao, this little bastard is courting death. Let me bite him to death. The old goat sent a message to Feng Yuan, roaring furiously. He also instantly understood Feng Yuan's thoughts. With the Moon Goddess and Phoenix Lady's beauty, it would be strange if these pirates didn't go crazy after seeing them. Feng Yuan's intentions were indeed vicious. In order to take revenge on Ling Xiao, he didn't hesitate to inform the pirates. He's dead. Let's see how Zhenbao Pavilion handles this. Ling Xiao's eyes also revealed a trace of deep killing intent. This adventurer's ship was under Zhenbao Pavilion's name. If Zhenbao Pavilion really handed their guests over to the pirates, their reputation would be tarnished. He believed that the owner of the ship wouldn't make such a decision. Oh. Where are the peerless beauties you mentioned? The Poison Dragon Emperor glanced at Feng Yuan and said with a smile that wasn't a smile. Reporting to Lord Poison Dragon Emperor, it's them. Feng Yuan pointed at the Moon Goddess and Phoenix Lady and sneered. Since he couldn't get them, he might as well destroy them. The Poison Dragon Emperor's eyes flashed as he saw the Moon Goddess and Phoenix Lady. His eyes immediately lit up. Ha ha ha. They are indeed peerless beauties. With such beauty and talent, only this emperor is worthy of them. This emperor wants these 2 girls. The Poison Dragon Emperor pointed at the Moon Goddess and Phoenix Lady and laughed loudly. His eyes were filled with a blazing light. These pirates had been robbing on the reincarnation sea for many years and had seen all kinds of proud women. However, the Poison Dragon Emperor found that none could compare to the Moon Goddess and Phoenix Lady. The Moon Goddess was dressed in white and shrouded in moonlight. Her hair was like a waterfall and her eyes were like stars. Her appearance was peerless and flawless. She was like a high and mighty goddess that was awe-inspiring and inviolable. On the other hand, the Phoenix Maiden had a fiery figure. Her black robe accentuated her perfect curves. Her snow-white skin was as translucent as jade, and her pair of large, soul-stirring eyes made one's blood boil. The Moon Goddess and Phoenix Lady's temperament were completely different, but they each had their own merits. When the Poison Dragon Emperor saw them, his heart burned with passion. The Moon Goddess and Phoenix Lady's expressions changed. They looked coldly at Feng Yuan and didn't say anything. They were also waiting for Shen Qianshan's response. Facing an emperor, they had no room to resist. No. Shen Qianshan stood up. Although he was also amazed by the Moon Goddess and Phoenix Maiden's appearances, he still said coldly, "These 2 are guests of my precious treasure pavilion. My precious treasure pavilion has never had the habit of betraying our guests." Ling Xiao nodded inwardly. Just as he had imagined, the Precious Treasures Pavilion was the holy land of martial arts in the world. Moreover, they had opened Precious Treasures pavilions all over the world to sell all kinds of treasures. They could be considered a merchant sect, so their reputation was still trustworthy. Even in this predicament, Shen Qianshan did not agree to hand over the Moon Goddess and Phoenix Maiden. This won Ling Xiao's favor. Shen Qianshan, I'm telling you, these 2 women are mine. Either you hand them over, and we'll turn around and leave. Otherwise, just wait for your corpses to return to the bottom of the sea. The Poison Dragon Emperor said with a cold smile. Elder Shen, you should hand over these 2 women. They are a scourge. As long as you hand them over, we can keep our lives. Feng Yuan also advised. Pa! Shen Qianshan's eyes turned cold. He slapped Feng Yuan and sent him flying. Blood spurted out of his mouth, and half of his face swelled up. Bastard, do you really think this old man doesn't dare to kill you? If you dare to say another word, this old man will tear you apart alive. Shen Qianshan was also incomparably angry. If it weren't for Feng Yuan's big mouth, how could the Poison Dragon Emperor have noticed the Moon Goddess and Phoenix Maiden? He would have left long ago. Although he wished he could skin Feng Yuan alive, he also knew that the most important thing was to get through the current predicament. So, he did not kill him. Elder Shen, please calm down. Feng Yuan did deserve to be beaten. However, if we don't hand them over, I'm afraid it will be very difficult for us to get through the current predicament. Lu Wan glanced at Shen Qianshan and said with a bitter smile. This old man has his own plans. You all can leave. Shen Qianshan said coldly. The Poison Dragon Emperor, the Bear Emperor, and the Eagle Emperor looked at the scene on the adventure ship as if they were watching a good show. The more they looked, the more they felt that the Moon Goddess and Phoenix Maiden were peerless. This made their hearts itch unbearably. They wished they could grab them and kiss them. Shen Qianshan, have you thought it through? Either hand over these two women or die. The Poison Dragon Emperor's eyes revealed a trace of cruelty as he said coldly. Shen Qianshan glanced at Ling Xiao, the Moon Goddess, and Phoenix Maiden. He sighed softly, but his gaze also became resolute. Poison Dragon Emperor, I can't hand them over to you. If you want to fight, then let's fight. Even if this old man dies in the sea of reincarnation today, I will drag one of you down with me. Shen Qianshan's voice was very decisive with a trace of decisiveness. This caused the Poison Dragon Emperor and the others' expressions to change slightly. They did not expect that Shen Qianshan would not hesitate to fight to the death with them for two women. This caused them to feel somewhat apprehensive in their hearts. The battle between emperors was earth-shattering. The destructive power was unparalleled. If Shen Qianshan really went all out, the Poison Dragon Emperor and the others might really be killed by him. Shen Qianshan, since you're courting death, then don't blame us for being impolite. Brothers, go. Kill them all. Burn them all. Steal them all. The Poison Dragon Emperor's eyes revealed a trace of brutality. They were all pirates who licked blood from the blade. At this moment, their killing intent was aroused by Shen Qianshan, and they immediately erupted. Kill Shen Qianshan first. The Poison Dragon Emperor, Bear Emperor, and Eagle Emperor looked at each other and emitted a powerful aura. They locked onto Shen Qianshan and prepared to launch a thunderous attack to kill Shen Qianshan. A cold light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. He looked at the old goat and Long Outyen and transmitted his voice. Later, the two of you will delay the Bear Emperor and Eagle Emperor. I will find an opportunity to kill the Poison Dragon Emperor. Only then will we have a chance to escape. Don't worry. Although we can't defeat them, it's not a problem to delay them. However, are you sure you can kill the Poison Dragon Emperor? The old goat and Long Outyen revealed a trace of doubt in their eyes. Ling Xiao coldly said, I have 80% confidence to launch a sneak attack at the cost of being heavily injured. Since these pirates don't know what's good for them, then I will fulfill their wish. All right. At most, we will fight to the death. The old goat's eyes flashed with killing intent. The Poison Dragon Emperor was the strongest. As long as they could kill the Poison Dragon Emperor, they should be able to cooperate with Shen Qianshan to kill the remaining two emperors. Rumble. Suddenly, a huge wave exploded. Dark clouds rolled, lightning blazed, and terrifying waves began to roll. What? Reincarnation storm? Someone exclaimed. The sea of reincarnation was too terrifying. A storm would arise in broad daylight. Everyone, including the adventurer ships and pirate ships, had a drastic change in expression. Rumble. The sea in the distance rolled as if forming a huge whirlpool. A dark, ancient, and mysterious aura spread out. A huge head emerged from the reincarnation ocean. Chapter 444. Not good, it's not the reincarnation storm, it's the reincarnation beast. The poison dragon emperor's face changed, and his voice trembled. The most terrifying thing in the reincarnation sea was not the reincarnation storm, but the reincarnation beast. If they encountered the reincarnation storm, they might have a chance to escape. But if they encountered the reincarnation beast, they would die without a doubt. Everyone who had seen the reincarnation beast was dead, and only legends were passed down. Although the poison dragon emperor and the others had never seen the reincarnation beast, such a terrifying beast coming from the bottom of the sea could only be the reincarnation beast. Run! The poison dragon emperor couldn't care less about Shinqianshan, and immediately ordered loudly. The white jade ship emitted a faint light, and broke through the huge waves to escape. Activate the Great Formation Barrier and run. Shinqianshan's face was also incomparably ugly as he roared. Rumble. The black waves surged, and a huge arm, cold and terrifying, fell down like a pillar, smashing towards the Bear Emperor and Eagle Emperor's white jade ship. The expressions of the Bear Emperor and the Eagle Emperor changed drastically. The powerful defensive enchantment of the white jade ship was like a piece of paper, instantly shattering. Rumble. The two white jade ships directly exploded, and countless miserable screams resounded. Flesh and blood splattered everywhere, and it was extremely tragic, causing everyone's scalp to tingle. The Bear Emperor and Eagle Emperor were already prepared, and directly soared into the sky, turning into two streams of light, and flew towards the poison dragon emperor. Swoosh, two beams of black light swept through the sky like divine rainbows. They were incomparably resplendent and instantly pierced through the bodies of the Bear Emperor and Eagle Emperor. After that, they were swept up and sent into the black mouth of the reincarnation beast. Just as the Bear Emperor and Eagle Emperor were delayed, the Poison Dragon Emperor and Shinqianshan's ship moved at the same time, splitting the huge waves, and erupted with the greatest power, like an arrow leaving the bow, and rapidly flew towards the distance. Rumble. A huge arm slammed down from the sky, and directly smashed the two ships' original position, immediately stirring up huge waves. Bastard, why is this reincarnation beast following us? Shinqianshan's face changed greatly. He and the Poison Dragon Emperor had fled separately, but the reincarnation beast actually abandoned the Poison Dragon Emperor, and chased after Shinqianshan's ship. The reincarnation beast stirred up huge waves and only its head could be seen. However, its terrifying aura caused everyone to tremble. Rumble. The reincarnation beast's speed was extremely fast as it broke through the waves. Its huge arm once again reached out from the bottom of the sea and slapped towards the adventurer's ship. It was as if an ancient divine mountain was pressing down, containing a terrifying power. Countless runes exploded on the barrier outside the ship, causing the entire ship to tremble. In the end, although the barrier's light was incomparably weak, it still blocked the reincarnation beast's attack. This barrier is so terrifying. No wonder Shinqianshan had the confidence to refuse the Poison Dragon Emperor. With the Poison Dragon Emperor, the Bear Emperor, and the Eagle Emperor, it wouldn't be so easy to break through the barrier. Only, such a strong barrier can only block one attack the beast. That's... Ns Ling Xiao laughed bitterly as he thought to himself. But at the same time, Ling Xiao was also very confused. Why would the reincarnation beast keep chasing after this adventure ship? What exactly was attracting it? And to S chasing after us. It's, they musts and it to kill it to kills SS it to its to kill. S and it and kill us. T. S to kill us. Feng Yuan jumped out again, and pointed at Ling Xiao and the others. Young Master Feng is right. These people's identities are strange. They must have taken something from the Netherworld ship. Elder Shen, let's chase them down. Chase them down. We can't let them drag us down. Kill them. Under Feng Yuan's command, everyone shouted. After all, only Ling Xiao and the others came up from the netherworld ship, and they were the most suspicious. Shen Qianshan also looked at Ling Xiao and the others, and frowned. Did you take something from the netherworld ship? Elder Shen, we didn't take anything. But if Elder Shen thinks that we attracted the reincarnation beast, then throw us off the ship. Ling Xiao looked at Shen Qianshan and said slowly. Elder Shen, what are you waiting for? Quickly throw them down, or we'll all be implicated by them. Feng Yuan jumped out again, and pointed at Ling Xiao with a face full of resentment. Shen Qianshan was a little hesitant, and Ling Xiao was also waiting for Shen Qianshan's decision. Rumble. The reincarnation beast caught up to the ship once more, and its enormous arms smashed down with a strand of blazing black lightning. The barrier that was already at the end of its rope couldn't endure such a heavy blow any longer, and it instantly shattered into pieces. The waves surged and contained a strand of chaotic energy, and it covered the heavens and the earth as it swept down. Many experts were caught off guard, and they were instantly drenched by the reincarnation ocean. They let out shrill cries as if some sort of life quintessence had been devoured, and they started to age at a visible speed. After that, they transformed into a pile of bones before everyone's eyes. We're finished now. Shen Qianshan closed his eyes in pain. Even if he possessed a cultivation at the monarch realm, he couldn't do anything when facing the reincarnation beast. The reincarnation beast possessed monstrous strength, and perhaps only Exalt realm experts could resist it. Crack. The ship was unable to endure such a heavy blow from the reincarnation beast, and it instantly split apart. Countless experts fell into the reincarnation ocean and were instantly transformed into bones. Some celestial realm and even noble realm experts flew into the sky, but they were swept away by the black waves, and they were instantly annihilated as well. After the ship was destroyed, Ling Xiao lost his footing and was about to fall into the reincarnation ocean as well. Moon Goddess, Phoenix Maiden, Shui Wei, and the others were falling down as well. The waves surged around them, and there wasn't a single place that was safe. Open up. Ling Xiao roared at the critical moment, and blazing heaven-gulfing true energy erupted from his body. Instantly, the seawater around him was swept away, and Moon Goddess, Phoenix Maiden, Shui Wei, and the others were sent into the dilapidated cabin. Just as Ling Xiao was about to fly into the cabin, the reincarnation beast's enormous arms swept through the air, and it carried an icy cold and terrifying aura. If the cabin was destroyed, then Moon Goddess, Phoenix Maiden, Shui Wei, the old goat, and Long Out Yen would definitely die. Rumble. A trace of determination appeared in Ling Xiao's eyes as his terrifying physical strength erupted. The heaven-gulfing golden lotus floated above his head, and Ling Xiao even started to burn his blood essence. An extremely powerful strength awakened within him. Heaven-gulfing secret technique. Ancestral dragon secret technique. True Phoenix secret technique. Violent dragon superpower. 4 elephants sky striking form. 5 elements sky sealing form. 6 paths of reincarnation form. At this moment, Ling Xiao clenched his fist and blasted out the most powerful punch in his life. It was like a golden sun, and it collided with the reincarnation beast's arm with a loud bang. Crack. The reincarnation beast's arm exploded at this moment, and countless rays of black light spewed out. The reincarnation beast let out an earth-shattering roar. Ling Xiao was also struck down by the terrifying recoil, and there was no way for him to resist. He instantly fell into the reincarnation ocean. Am I going to die just like that? Ling Xiao's aura was completely dispersed, and a look of unwillingness appeared in his eyes. His entire body was surrounded by the ice-cold samsara seawater, and he could feel a terrifying force sucking away his life source. Evil creature, you're courting death. At this moment, an earth-shattering roar was heard, and it was as if a blazing sun had exploded. An incomparably blazing sword radiance swept across the sky and slashed towards the reincarnation beast. Is Ji Zun here? Shui Wei and the others are saved. Chapter 445. Cold and lonely. This was the only feeling Ling Xiao had in the reincarnation sea. When the endless seawater drowned him, he could no longer hear any shouts, cries for help, or cries for help. Only the sound of Ling Xiao's heartbeat was the clearest. In the black seawater, there was a trace of chaotic energy surging towards Ling Xiao's limbs and bones. Ling Xiao could feel that his physical body was aging at a speed visible to the naked eye. Countless particles were being crushed. An extremely sleepy feeling came over him, making Ling Xiao want to fall asleep right there and then. I can't sleep. If I sleep, I won't be able to wake up again. Ling Xiao's eyes suddenly opened. He couldn't just wait for death like this. Although the reincarnation sea was strange, it contained the chaotic power of time and various other mysterious forces that could destroy all life. There was only eternal darkness and death. This was the biggest crisis Ling Xiao had encountered since his rebirth. So what if it's the reincarnation sea? Devouring heaven's secret skill, devour. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of sharpness. He crazily activated the power of the devouring heaven's secret skill. The golden light around him seemed to form a boundary, wrapping him up. At the same time, Ling Xiao activated the wordless heavenly book. He didn't know if the wordless heavenly book would be interested in the chaotic energy in the reincarnation sea. Buzz! The wordless heavenly book emitted a bright light, enveloping Ling Xiao's primordial spirit. However, it didn't rush out of Ling Xiao's body, as if it wasn't interested in the reincarnation sea. What gave Ling Xiao hope was that when he fully activated the devouring heaven's secret skill, it could actually devour the energy in the reincarnation sea. However, it was very weak and difficult. It was far slower than the speed of Ling Xiao's life essence. At this rate, I can only last for half a day at most. I'm afraid that the life essence in my body will be completely devoured. I have to think of a way. Ling Xiao struggled to swim in the reincarnation sea. His life seemed to be compressed and he only had half a day left. This half a day was where Ling Xiao's hope lay. In order to save Shui Wei and the others, Ling Xiao unleashed his strongest attack. He didn't even hesitate to burn his blood essence. At this moment, he was already severely injured. Coupled with the devouring of the reincarnation sea, it made things worse. Ling Xiao forced himself to swim in the reincarnation sea. All around him was black seawater, dead and cold. There were no signs of life. Fortunately, even though Ling Xiao could not see, he had condensed his martial Dao primordial spirit and could clearly see the scene within a radius of a few hundred feet. Is this the depths of the reincarnation sea? Ling Xiao felt an incomparably terrifying pressure. Although his physical strength was extremely strong, he still felt that it was somewhat difficult for him to withstand this pressure. In the reincarnation ocean, there were some underwater mountains, huge trenches, broken weapons, and skeletons. It was like an ancient battlefield that had been buried here forever. I wonder if those huge rocks at the bottom of the sea can isolate the reincarnation sea. Ling Xiao's eyes flickered. If he could open up a cave at the bottom of the sea and temporarily cut off the reincarnation sea, Ling Xiao would be able to think of a way to resolve the current crisis. Thinking of this, Ling Xiao immediately took action. There was a huge mountain range at the bottom of the sea in front of him. It stretched for miles like a black dragon coiling in the reincarnation sea. Ling Xiao swam towards the underwater mountain range with great difficulty while resisting the terrifying pressure of the sea. Wang! At this moment, the wordless heavenly book trembled slightly as if it had sensed something. It flew out from between Ling Xiao's eyebrows and pointed in a direction in the mountain range. What can make the wordless heavenly book tremble other than a top heavenly treasure or an extraterrestrial demon? Which one is it? Ling Xiao could not make up his mind. He did not know if there was a top heavenly treasure or a powerful extraterrestrial demon hidden in the underwater mountain range. After all, the reincarnation sea had appeared 10,000 years ago and was closely related to that great calamity. If there was an extraterrestrial demon suppressed here, it would make sense. Forget it, let's go take a look. Ling Xiao felt that nearly half of his life force had been extracted. His originally black hair had turned white and wrinkles had appeared on his skin. It was as if his life was approaching its end and drying up. Now, Ling Xiao had no choice. Even if there was an extraterrestrial demon, Ling Xiao could only give it a try. Wang. The wordless heavenly book emitted a brilliant light, but unfortunately, it could not protect Ling Xiao's body. Following the wordless heavenly book's instructions, Ling Xiao landed in the underwater mountain range and found a deep cave. There is no aura of an extraterrestrial demon. Could there be some treasure? Ling Xiao's eyes lit up as he walked towards the deep cave. The deeper he went, the more he could feel an indescribable aura ahead. It was as if that was the source of the wordless heavenly book's attraction. After walking along the cave for a few dozen miles, a huge karst cave appeared in front of them. What surprised Ling Xiao was that the interior of the karst cave looked very dry. There was no reincarnation sea water rushing in. After Ling Xiao walked into the underground karst cave, he took a deep breath. He felt that he had started to pant after walking for dozens of miles. This chaotic reincarnation sea is really too terrifying. Even a supreme being might not be able to resist such power. Ling Xiao sighed as he started to size up the underground karst cave. There was a human-shaped skeleton in the center of the karst cave. It was at least 1,000 feet tall and was half kneeling on the ground. There was a broken sword in its chest, and its entire body was emitting a tragic aura. 1,000 feet tall human. Could it be the legendary Pangu clan? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. The owner of this skeleton had died countless years ago. Ling Xiao guessed that it was definitely more than 10,000 years old from the traces of the skeleton and the broken sword. This should be a powerful supreme being weapon. It's a pity that it has already lost its divinity and turned into scrap metal. Could this senior be a person from ancient times? Ling Xiao pondered as he walked around the skeleton. In the end, he saw that the skeleton was holding a 3-inch tall stone box in its hand. The stone box emitted a deep light as if it contained some kind of mysterious power. It actually forced the reincarnation sea water to retreat, allowing the underground karst cave to remain and not be submerged. The source of the wordless heavenly book's trembling was the item in the stone box. Ling Xiao leaped up and took the stone box. He felt his body sink. This stone box was surprisingly heavy. It actually weighed hundreds of thousands of pounds. If Ling Xiao was at his peak, it would not be a problem. However, in his current state, he was panting a little when he took the stone box down. I don't know when I will be able to replenish the life force I lost. Ling Xiao laughed bitterly and opened the stone box. Chapter 446. Inside the stone box was a black bone. It was the size of a fist and looked as smooth as jade. It emitted a deep glow. This black bone was exactly the same as the one Ling Xiao had obtained from the ninth saint. Wang. The wordless heavenly book was like a cat that had seen a fish. It trembled and emitted a brilliant light as it pounced on the black bone. Rumble. The dazzling divine light was like a divine chain of order. Dazzling runes even appeared on the wordless heavenly book, which turned into a devouring vortex, trying to devour He Gu. The originally calm black bone started to riot at this moment. The black divine light was as vast as the sea. It emitted an ancient, mysterious, and evil aura. The black bone was not at a disadvantage in the confrontation with the wordless heavenly book. Rumble. The golden light and black light collided like a battle between good and evil. The terrifying shockwaves caused the entire underground cave to tremble. Ling Xiao was shocked. If the underground cave collapsed, it would be a tragedy. It was not easy to find a place to stay. However, as Ling Xiao expected, the wordless heavenly book could not do anything to the black bone. It could only return to Ling Xiao's consciousness unwillingly. The black bone also calmed down and returned to the stone box. However, mysterious patterns appeared on the originally smooth surface of the black bone. Looking at it carefully, it was like a vast starry sky. It was very mysterious. Even the wordless heavenly book could not do anything to it. Where did this black bone come from? Ling Xiao muttered to himself. At the same time, he laughed bitterly. He did not expect the black bone to be so mysterious. It was like the water-repelling pearl that could make the reincarnation seawater retreat. If he had known, he would not have suffered so much. This time, he had suffered a great loss. He did not know how long it would take to recover the life force that he had lost. Ling Xiao took out the other black bone and placed it in the stone box. There were no strange changes. Ling Xiao walked out of the underground cave and tested it. He realized that the two black bones were indeed mysterious. They could make the reincarnation seawater retreat and form a vacuum barrier around them. Healing is more important. Ling Xiao sat down cross-legged. He had suffered a blow from the reincarnation beast and his physical body was severely injured. The reincarnation seawater had swallowed a large amount of his life force, making things worse. At this moment, his physical body was on the verge of collapse. After consuming a few supreme-grade healing elixirs, Ling Xiao spent nearly 3 days to completely recover from his injuries. However, there was no way to recover the life force that he had lost. Ling Xiao's hair was white. Although his face was still handsome, there were wrinkles at the corners of his eyes. Senior, I don't know how you died, but since I've met you, I'll take you away from the reincarnation sea. If I meet your clansmen in the future, I'll hand you over to them for a proper burial. Ling Xiao said softly. Then, he was about to collect the skeleton and place it into his longevity ring. However, at this moment, a brilliant stream of light flew out from the skeleton. It was extremely fast and instantly shot into Ling Xiao's forehead. I am Panga Chu, the 3600th clan leader of the Panga clan. I fought the extraterrestrial demon god in the reincarnation world and killed millions of extraterrestrial demons. I created a reincarnation divine power and passed it down to the future generations, an old and vast voice sounded in Ling Xiao's mind. It was like thunder from the 9 heavens, shaking Ling Xiao's primordial spirit. After a long time, Ling Xiao came to his senses. His eyes were filled with shock and joy. This light was a message left behind by the owner of the skeleton, Panga Chu. It described Panga Chu's origin and the reason for his death. It turned out that Panga Chu was the clan leader of the Panga clan. When the extraterrestrial demons invaded, Panga Chu unleashed his unparalleled strength and slaughtered countless extraterrestrial demons. In the end, he perished together with a demon god in the reincarnation world. Before he died, he created a reincarnation divine power. Panga clan. There are only legends of the Panga clan in the War God continent. I'm afraid the Panga clan has long been extinct. This senior Panga Chu should be a figure from the ancient era. He could fight against a demon god. Could it be that his cultivation has broken through the peak of the supremacy stage and reached the god realm? Ling Xiao analyzed the message left behind by Panga Chu. Perhaps because too much time had passed, the message left behind by Panga Chu was incomplete. Moreover, the key points were still vague. Reincarnation world. Our world is called the War God world. I wonder where the so-called reincarnation world is. Reincarnation ocean, reincarnation world. Could this reincarnation ocean be from the reincarnation world? Ling Xiao muttered to himself. There were many doubts and guesses in his heart. Unfortunately, the message left behind by Panga Chu was too simple and incomplete. But what excited Ling Xiao the most was the reincarnation divine power passed down by Panga Chu. It's suspected to be a divine power created by a god realm expert. How terrifying would it be? Ling Xiao's heart was filled with anticipation. The cultivation method of the reincarnation divine power had been firmly imprinted in Ling Xiao's mind. However, the most important thing to cultivate the reincarnation divine power was to refine the reincarnation force. With the reincarnation force as the foundation, one could erupt with unpredictable power. However, this reincarnation divine power was created by Panga Chu before his death. As for how strong it was, even Panga Chu's message didn't mention it. Reincarnation force? I understand now. It turns out that the reincarnation ocean isn't the time force at all, but the reincarnation force. The reincarnation force that allows one to communicate with the gods and ghosts. Now that I'm in the reincarnation ocean, isn't it the best opportunity for me to cultivate the reincarnation divine power? Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of understanding. He was a little excited. With the cultivation method of the reincarnation divine power that Pangu Chu had imprinted in Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness, it was very clear how to cultivate the reincarnation divine power. Ling Xiao decided to give it a try. He wanted to see if the chaotic energy in the reincarnation ocean was the reincarnation force that Pangu Chu had mentioned. Ling Xiao left the karst cave and walked into the passageway. Immediately, the cold and bone-chilling reincarnation ocean spread over and enveloped Ling Xiao. Moreover, the mysterious energy invaded and began to wantonly devour the life origin in Ling Xiao's body. If there's truth, Yuan will be empty. Life and death will be reincarnated. Dream of this life. Without thought, turn into the void, Ling Xiao comprehended the cultivation method of the reincarnation divine power. He began to slowly absorb the energy in the reincarnation ocean according to the cultivation method recorded in the reincarnation divine power. A mysterious aura spread out. The void around Ling Xiao trembled slightly. Black light spread out as if a reincarnation passage had been opened. A black divine ring formed around him. The mysterious energy in the reincarnation ocean began to be absorbed and refined by Ling Xiao. It really is the reincarnation force. Chapter 447. Reincarnation was the reincarnation of time and also the reincarnation of life and death. Pangu Chu comprehended the reincarnation ability when he was on the verge of death. Ling Xiao guessed that Pangu Chu probably wanted to comprehend the reincarnation of life and death so that he could extend his lifespan. If Pangu Chu was a divine spirit realm expert, his lifespan would naturally be the same as the heavens and he would never grow old. However, it didn't mean that he wouldn't die. Unfortunately, although he created the reincarnation ability, he still couldn't break the mystery of life and death. In this aspect, the reincarnation ability wasn't perfect. Fortunately, Pangu Chu was a divine spirit realm expert and the reincarnation ability was enough for Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao hadn't reached the stage where he needed to comprehend the power of life and death. He only needed to refine the reincarnation energy to make up for the loss of his life source. Ling Xiao sat cross-legged in the reincarnation ocean and circulated the reincarnation ability cultivation method. The Tanzhong acupoint on his chest emitted a resplendent light, opening up a chaotic space. Strands of samsara power were formless and formless, but there was a mysterious power that was absorbed by Ling Xiao into the Tanzhong acupoint. The sea of consciousness, the center of the chest, and the dantian were known as the three secret realms of the human body. Generally speaking, martial arts started from the physical body. The meridian opening realm ran through the meridians of the body and then opened the dantian qi sea to cultivate innate true qi. The sea of consciousness contained the soul energy and it was extremely mysterious. Only some powerful alchemists and blacksmiths could mobilize the mental energy in the soul and unleash all kinds of mysterious and unfathomable power. After a martial artist cultivated to the noble realm, he could condense the martial Tao primordial spirit in the sea of consciousness and form it. Only the center of the chest was where the life source was located. A martial artist cultivated from the dantian and opened the sea of consciousness to condense the martial Tao primordial spirit. However, the center of the chest was rarely touched. However, if one wanted to become a supreme being, one must have the three flowers of mind, spirit, and qi, the five internal organs, the five qi, and the zhou tian as one. Only then could one become a supreme being. Therefore, the center of the chest was also known as the supreme being point. The life source that Ling Xiao lost was stored in the center of the chest and it ruled over a person's lifespan. More than half of Ling Xiao's life source was devoured. Now that he cultivated the reincarnation ability left behind by Pangu Chu, he accidentally opened the center of the chest and reached the place where the life source was located. Wang! A mysterious aura emanated from Ling Xiao's body. It was as if 3 mysterious lotuses had appeared from his dantian, chest, and sea of consciousness. They looked very illusory, but there was a kind of profound meaning of the great Tao permeating the air. A black vortex seemed to form in Ling Xiao's Tanzhong acupoint. The vast power of samsara in the samsara sea began to be devoured and refined by Ling Xiao. The reincarnation sea actually contains such a vast amount of life essence. Ling Xiao exclaimed in his heart. The reincarnation sea that seemed like a land of death to others was simply a land of treasure after Ling Xiao cultivated the reincarnation divine ability. The boundless power of reincarnation was refined by Ling Xiao, turning into a boundless source of life. Furthermore, it connected to his dantian and sea of consciousness, making Ling Xiao feel as if his soul had left his body and was in control of the world. Rumble. The dried-up source of life began to fill up. Ling Xiao's body emitted a dazzling golden glow. His blood surged like the sea, and his entire body was bright and flawless. Originally, Ling Xiao felt that his body was already very perfect. However, under the refinement of the power of reincarnation, some black impurities seeped out, making him feel calm and free. It was as if he had broken free from some kind of shackle. I should now have the lifespan of a noble realm cultivator. If nothing unexpected happens, I will definitely be able to live for 1,000 years. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of understanding. It was like the limit of a mortal's lifespan was 100 years. However, very few people could live for more than 100 years. Innate bodies in the postnatal world would be contaminated by mortal qi, and their life source would become impure. The power of reincarnation was equivalent to refining the impurities in Ling Xiao's life source. Rumble. Ling Xiao could see that there seemed to be a golden dragon hibernating in his blood. It was shackled by mysterious shackles, preventing him from awakening the power of his bloodline. This should be the dragon bloodline in my body. However, what are these shackles? Perhaps I will be able to break these shackles after I break through to the true dragon body. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of sharpness. In his previous life, the supreme true dragon had formed the true dragon body. That was why he had an invincible physical body that could kill supremes. His fist could shatter the galaxy, and his palm could destroy the sky. He was extremely powerful. Ling Xiao himself had hopes of reaching that level. Ling Xiao sat cross-legged in the reincarnation sea for 7 days and 7 nights. The life source that he had lost was completely replenished, and it reached the limit that his body could withstand. Moreover, he had achieved some small success in the reincarnation superpower. He could steal the lifespan of others and kill them with the power of reincarnation. It was extremely terrifying. With my current cultivation, I can only use the reincarnation superpower once. I can use it as a trump card. Ling Xiao stood up from the sea. His body was surrounded by a golden glow. It was as if golden lightning was intertwining. His white hair had turned black and was emitting a faint golden glow. The surrounding seawater retreated. The sea of reincarnation, which made people pale at the mention of it, could no longer harm Ling Xiao. Junior Ling Xiao has been taught the reincarnation superpower. As long as the Pangu clan still exists, I will definitely send your corpse back to the Pangu clan for a proper burial. Ling Xiao bowed respectfully and then kept Pangu Chu's corpse in his longevity ring. I wonder how the old goat and Shui Wei are now. That terrifying aura at the end should be the descent of a supremacy. He should be able to force the reincarnation beast to retreat. Ling Xiao was a little worried. However, when he thought of the mysterious supremacy that appeared at the end, he felt a little more at ease. Ling Xiao left the underwater cave and came to the sea. Whoosh! Ling Xiao rose into the air. The sea breeze blew around him, and the sun above his head shone warm light. The reincarnation qi that rose in the reincarnation sea was devoured and refined by Ling Xiao. In the sky above the reincarnation sea, even sovereigns did not dare to fly casually. This was because the reincarnation sea was shrouded in the reincarnation qi that could steal one's lifespan. It was extremely terrifying. Only supremacies dared to fly in the reincarnation sea. Ling Xiao estimated that he was not far from the war god continent, so he flew towards the south. Perhaps it was because of the appearance of the reincarnation beast, but Ling Xiao did not encounter a single adventurer ship along the way. Flying in the air was much faster than adventurer ships. After flying for 2 days, Ling Xiao saw a vast and boundless continent in front of him. It was endless and majestic. War God Continent, I, Ling Xiao, am back. Chapter 448. The War God Continent was vast and boundless. It was unknown how many billions of miles it was. Even in Ling Xiao's previous life, as the #1 paragon in the world, he had not been able to explore the entire War God Continent. In his previous life, Ling Xiao had not been a paragon for long before he was ambushed and killed by Paragon True Dragon. Therefore, it could be considered a flash in the pan. Although it was stunning, it was very short. In the War God Continent, there were countless powerful sacred grounds, hidden sects, ancient races, and many dangerous forbidden areas. Some forbidden areas were so dangerous that even paragons did not dare to enter. Entering would mean death. In comparison, although the reincarnation sea was also a forbidden area, as long as one did not encounter the reincarnation storm or reincarnation beast, it was still considered safe. Compared to the War God Continent, the 8 Desolates region was like a drop of water in the sea, insignificant. Especially after the Great Calamity 10,000 years ago, the 8 Desolates region separated from the War God Continent and crossed the endless reincarnation sea. The 8 Desolates region had gradually been forgotten by the War God Continent. Although the legends of sky-devouring paragon and longevity sects still reverberated in the War God Continent, 10,000 years was enough for people to forget about the 8 Desolates region. The War God Continent is vast and boundless, with a total of 3,000 continents. Each continent is incomparably vast. If I remember correctly, the continents closest to the Ba Huang region should be the Taiyang, Taiyin, and Taixing continents. I wonder where I am now. Ling Xiao pondered for a moment before descending from the sky and standing on the War God Continent. In front of him was a vast mountain range with towering ancient trees. The canopy was like a dome, covering the sky. In the distance, the steep mountain peaks were like divine swords, piercing through the clouds. Clouds and mist lingered between the mountain peaks, and there were even powerful roars of beasts. It looked like a deserted place. 10,000 years had passed, and the world had changed. Ling Xiao could no longer recognize the scene in front of him. There's a cry for help. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He heard a woman's cry for help in the forest ahead, accompanied by the sounds of battle. Ling Xiao's heart shook as he immediately rushed in the direction of the cry for help. Lu Wan, and Feng Yuan looked extremely miserable. Their clothes were tattered and stained with blood. Their breathing was extremely chaotic, and their eyes were filled with anger. Ha ha ha. Shout all you want. Even if you shout until your throat breaks, no one will care. This king is really lucky today to actually meet Miss Lu. I heard that Miss Lu possesses the heavenly star bloodline. Why not let this king benefit? A big man in a black robe, holding a large machete, led a group of small fries to surround Lu Wan, and Feng Yuan. How dare you? My brother is Feng Peilong, a disciple of Star Palace. If you dare to harm us, my brother will definitely not let you go. Feng Yuan roared, his eyes filled with anger. The black-robed man in front of him was only at the first level of the heaven tier. He had gathered a group of Dragon Tiger tier and Master tier underlings and claimed the mountain as his king. He called himself the Black Wind King. Lu Wan, and Feng Yuan had just escaped death in the reincarnation sea. Now that they were seriously injured and didn't even have the combat strength of a grandmaster, how could they be a match for the Black Wind King? If he was at his peak, Feng Yuan would be able to kill all of these bandits by himself. Who does Feng Peilong think he is? After I've enjoyed Lu Wan, I'll hide in the endless mountain. Even Star Palace won't be able to find me. The Black Wind King laughed. He looked at Lu Wan, with a burning gaze, full of lust. Lu Wan was no longer as cold as before. Her face was pale and there was fear and anger in her eyes. If she were to be defiled by these bandits, it would be worse than killing her. Ling Xiao quietly skimmed to an ancient tree. When he saw Lu Wan and Feng Yuan in the distance, his gaze was a little strange. Speaking of which, Ling Xiao didn't have a good impression of Feng Yuan and Lu Wan. However, Lu Wan was the descendant of his sixth disciple after all. Ling Xiao wanted to know where his sixth disciple was. Little ones, attack. Kill the man and bring the woman back to be the wife of the fort. When I want to use her, all of you will have a share. The Black Wind King laughed. However, he was also cunning. He could see that Feng Yuan and Lu Wan's cultivation was extraordinary. Although they were seriously injured, it was hard to guarantee that they wouldn't have some means to save their lives. Feng Yuan and Lu Wan's faces instantly turned pale. Although they had some means to save their lives, they couldn't even muster up a breath of true qi. There was no way they could open their storage rings. Facing these people who were usually like ants in their eyes, there was nothing they could do. At this moment, Feng Yuan suddenly made a choice that surprised the Black Wind King and Ling Xiao. King Rao Ming, I'm willing to submit to you. Although this little bitch is my big brother's woman, I've long wanted to enjoy her. I hope you can let me have a taste after you've enjoyed her. Feng Yuan actually knelt down in front of the Black Wind King with a flattering smile on his face. Feng Yuan's eyes flickered. He viciously thought to himself, when I recover my cultivation, I'll kill all of these bastards. Feng Yuan, you bastard. Lu Wan's face was filled with disbelief. She didn't expect Feng Yuan to be so cowardly that he would betray her. The second young master of the Feng family is actually willing to be a bandit with me? Ha ha ha. As the saying goes, a wise man submits to circumstances. I admire you very much. The Black Wind King was stunned for a moment before he burst into laughter. He walked forward as if he wanted to help Feng Yuan up. Your Majesty is heroic and talented. In the future, you'll definitely become a supreme being and rule the world. Feng Yuan's face was filled with a flattering smile. In order to survive, he would say anything to curry favor with the Black Wind King. You're very good. In return, I'll grant you death. The Black Wind King laughed as he walked in front of Feng Yuan. Suddenly, a sharp light flashed in his eyes. A huge machete came down and chopped off Feng Yuan's head. Fresh blood spurted out. The Black Wind King's face was filled with cruelty. Lu Wan was also sprayed with blood as she screamed in shock. Feng Yuan's head flew up. His eyes were filled with disbelief and shock. It was as if he didn't know why the Black Wind King wanted to kill him. Bah! What a joke! Do you really think I don't know what you're planning? How would I dare to take in a Sky-tier elite? Moreover, a cowardly bastard like you who betrays his own people deserves to die. The Black Wind King sneered as he spat. Miss Lu is indeed a peerless beauty. To be able to have sex with Miss Lu and let me have some fun, even if I die, I'll have profited. The Black Wind King looked at Lu Wan, whose face had turned pale. His eyes were filled with passion. Lu Wan's pitiful look aroused his desire even more. He immediately pounced on Lu Wan, wanting to tear her clothes apart. Help! Lu Wan screamed. Her eyes were filled with despair and humiliation. Ling Xiao knew that he had to make a move. TSK. How dare you steal the woman that I've taken a fancy to? Are you tired of living? Ling Xiao jumped down from the tree and pointed at the Black Wind King with a smile. Chapter 449. It's you. Save me. Lu Wan's eyes flashed. When she saw that it was Ling Xiao, she was pleasantly surprised. She quickly shouted for help. The Black Wind King was stunned when he saw that it was a young man who had jumped out to save the damsel in distress. After taking a closer look at the young man's cultivation, the Black Wind King laughed. "Kid, if you want to be a hero and save the damsel in distress, you have to see what you're made of. It seems that you two are old acquaintances. If that's the case, I'll kill you first before I enjoy this little girl." The Black Wind King walked toward Ling Xiao with his machete in hand. Ling Xiao was only at level 9 of the Guru realm. How dare he try to be a hero and save the damsel in distress? Lu Wan was stunned. Only then did she remember that Ling Xiao was only at level 9 of the Guru realm, while the Black Wind King was at level 1 of the Celestial realm. The gap between the Guru realm and the Celestial realm was huge. Ling Xiao might not be a match for the Black Wind King. Lu Wan felt a little desperate at the thought of this. "I see that you're a good man. Why did you choose to be a bandit, a profession with no future? Since you've offended me today, you're courting death. Don't blame me for not showing mercy," Ling Xiao said with a smile. There was no fear in his eyes. "You're courting death." A sharp glint appeared in the Black Wind King's eyes. With lightning speed, he raised the battle saber in his hand and slashed down at Ling Xiao. The snow-white machete flashed like a bolt of lightning. It was so fast that even the Black Wind King admired his machete skills. With such a sudden attack, even a Heaven-tier elite would most likely die if caught off guard, not to mention a young man like him. However, the Black Wind King was stunned the next moment. Ling Xiao only stretched out 2 fingers and caught the machete in the Black Wind King's hand. No matter how hard the Black Wind King tried, the machete would not budge. The Black Wind King knew that he had encountered a tough opponent. His back was covered in cold sweat. When he opened his mouth to say something, he saw a cold light coming toward him. Puff! Blood spurted out. The machete flipped back and chopped off the Black Wind King's head. What? The Black Wind King's minions and Lu Wan were all stunned. Lu Wan, in particular, had a look of surprise and joy in her eyes. She did not expect this young man to be so powerful. He killed the Black Wind King with a single move. She was finally saved. Avenge the king. Kill this brat. After being stunned for a moment, the minions did not choose to escape. Instead, they roared and charged at Ling Xiao. The weapons in their hands emitted a cold light as they slashed at Ling Xiao. "You're courting death." A cold glint flashed across Ling Xiao's eyes. He had no intention of letting these small fries off. Puff! Puff! Ling Xiao's 10 fingers shot out at the same time. Invisible chi swords emitted a sharp cold light, instantly piercing through the space between the eyebrows of these small fries, killing them all. While talking and laughing, Ling Xiao killed dozens of bandits without any change in expression. Lu Wan could not help but sigh in admiration when she saw this. "I still don't know young master's name." "Wan, thanks young master for saving my life." Lu Wan walked over and bowed deeply to Ling Xiao. Her eyes were full of gratitude. If it were not for Ling Xiao, she would have been defiled by these bandits. At this moment, Lu Wan's clothes had been torn to shreds by the Black Wind King, revealing her snow-white skin. The 2 lumps of white on her chest were faintly discernible. There was a different kind of temptation that made one's blood boil. "You're welcome, Miss Lu. My name is Ling Xiao. This is the second time we've met." Ling Xiao smiled. His eyes were clear, and he did not look elsewhere. Instead, he asked, "Miss Lu, I want to know what happened after the reincarnation beast attacked the adventurer ship. Did you see my companions?" Ling Xiao was very worried. He searched the area where the reincarnation beast attacked the adventurer ship, but he did not find anything. Ling Xiao hoped that the mysterious prime who appeared at the end could save Shui Wei and the others. That day, the reincarnation beast attacked the adventurer ship, and the entire ship was torn to pieces. Then, a mysterious prime appeared and fought with the reincarnation beast. That was how we escaped on the wreckage of the ship. However, when the ship was torn to pieces, only Feng Yuan and I escaped. I don't know where the others are, and I didn't see young Master Ling's companions. Lu Wan's eyes revealed a trace of apology. Thinking about the scene of the reincarnation beast attacking the adventurer's ship, Lu Wan's heart was filled with fear. She guessed that Ling Xiao might have escaped on the wreckage of the adventurer's ship, just like her. That was why he was separated from his companions. However, she did not expect Ling Xiao to have fallen into the reincarnation sea. Ling Xiao was a little disappointed. It turned out that Lu Wan did not know where Shui Wei and the others had gone. When the Prime came, there would have been a huge battle with the reincarnation beast. He probably could not care about the people on the adventurer's ship. However, Lu Wan and Feng Yuan had escaped. Shui Wei, the moon goddess, the phoenix maiden, the perverted old goat, and Long Outyen should not be in any danger. Thinking of this, Ling Xiao was slightly relieved. Since the adventurer's ship belonged to the precious treasure pavilion, he should know where Shui Wei and the others were when he asked the people there. Young Master Ling, what are your plans? Lu Wan's eyes flashed as she asked. I'm an itinerant cultivator. The world is my home. If Miss Lu doesn't mind, let me give you a ride. How about that? Ling Xiao smiled. He also wanted to see if Lu Guqin had left any clues for the Lu clan. In that case, thank you very much, young Master Ling. Lu Wan was overjoyed. This mountain range was deserted, and Lu Wan was seriously injured. If Ling Xiao could escort her back to the Sky Stars city, it would be the best thing. Moreover, Ling Xiao seemed to be talented. If he was trained well, there should be no problem for him to reach the noble plane. Now that the Lu clan was in decline, if they could recruit Ling Xiao, it would be a great help. Ling Xiao and Lu Wan packed up and left. As the second young master of the Feng clan, Feng Yuan had died in the hands of a bandit. This was a very troublesome matter. Lu Wan was also thinking about how to explain it to the Feng clan. Ling Xiao gave Lu Wan a healing elixir. After Lu Wan took it, she recovered a bit of her cultivation. She put Feng Yuan's body into her storage ring, ready to bring it back to the Feng clan. At the same time, she took out a set of clothes from her storage ring. After freshening up and changing, she regained her graceful and cold temperament. Young Master Ling, this place is not far from the Sky Stars city. It's only about 500 kilometers away. After passing through the endless mountains, we'll reach the Sky Stars city. Chapter 450. She believed that with her appearance and temperament, as long as she used a little trick, this young man would automatically throw himself into her arms. By then, it would be a matter of course for him to seek refuge with the Lu family. No problem, Miss Lu, please lead the way. Ling Xiao said with a smile, his eyes clear. Lu Wan led Ling Xiao along the periphery of the mountain range, healing his injuries as they walked. Although they were alone, Ling Xiao did not show any improper thoughts towards Lu Wan, which made Lu Wan feel relieved and disappointed at the same time. She even began to doubt her own charm. Along the way, Lu Wan asked about Ling Xiao's origin in a roundabout way, but in the end, she did not find out anything. Instead, Ling Xiao found out a lot of things about Tianxing City. Lu Wan was very shrewd. The little boy with Ling Xiao, Long Outyen, looked no more than 5 or 6 years old, but he was able to severely injure Feng Yuan with one punch. He must have an extraordinary origin. Unfortunately, Ling Xiao was very tight-lipped, and Lu Wan did not find out any useful information. Moreover, Lu Wan expressed her intention to rope Ling Xiao in several times. In the end, Ling Xiao played dumb, which made Lu Wan very disappointed. Just like that, they walked in the mountain range for 3 days. Finally, they walked out. In front of them was a vast plain with a wide road leading into the distance. After 3 days, Lu Wan's injuries had healed. She had regained her cultivation base of the 6th level of the Sky Human stage. Seeing that Ling Xiao was so stubborn, she was unable to rope him in. Thus, her attitude became somewhat cold. After Lu Wan recovered her cultivation of the 6th level of the Heaven-Human realm, she began to fly with Ling Xiao, and their speed increased a lot. Young Master Ling, Tianxing City is in front of us. After returning to the Lu family, I will definitely repay you for saving my life. Lu Wan said faintly. Miss Lu, you are welcome. I will stay in Tianxing City for a while, and then I will leave. Ling Xiao smiled. He did not have any thoughts about Lu Wan, so he did not care about her attitude. Moreover, if Lu Wan was not Lu Guqin's descendant, Ling Xiao might not even have saved her. Ling Xiao just wanted to go to Tianxing City to see Lu Guqin's family. If necessary, he would also give appropriate help. Lu Wan's brows furrowed slightly. When she said this, she hoped that Ling Xiao would leave on his own. She didn't expect Ling Xiao to insist on following her back to Stellar Sky City. However, Lu Wan did not say anything. The wind was blowing around them, and the atmosphere became somewhat awkward. At the end of the vast plain ahead, a huge city stood on the ground. It was like a primordial ferocious beast that was hibernating, and it emitted a vast and ancient aura. Stellar Sky City. Legend had it that the 9 heavenly stars had descended here, and an ancient expert had built the heavenly star city here. Later on, Lu Guqin had proven his Tao to be a supreme being, and he had used the heavenly star as his name, causing the reputation of the heavenly star city to spread far and wide. In the plains and mountain ranges around Stellar Sky City, there were many stellar sky ores, which contained precious stellar sky stones. Not only could the heavenly star stone be used to refine weapons, the star essence it contained could also be used to cleanse the body and purify true qi. More importantly, it was very beneficial to martial artists who cultivated star cultivation methods. However, in recent years, the Lu family had gradually declined. With the death of the last half-step supreme martial artist in the Lu family 10 years ago, many people coveted the Lu family's stellar sky ores. Therefore, the Lu clan urgently needed a strong helper. Therefore, they were preparing to form a marriage alliance with the Feng clan of Tianfeng City, betrothing Lu Wan to Feng Peilong. Not only had Feng Peilong become a disciple of the Star Palace, but more importantly, the Feng family also had a half-step supreme martial artist ancestor in charge. Swoosh! From afar, a group of figures with strong auras approached. When Lu Wan saw the black-clothed middle-aged man in the lead, her eyes suddenly revealed an extremely surprised expression. Second uncle. The black-clothed middle-aged man was tall and had a strong aura. He carried a group of young figures and flew effortlessly. However, his aquiline nose and deep eye sockets made him look gloomy, and there was a cold glint in his eyes. At that moment, when he saw Lu Wan, he revealed a joyful expression and said, Wan, is it really you? That's great. We heard that something happened to the adventure ship in the treasure pavilion. Your father and I were worried sick. Thank God, you're fine. This is... The black-clothed middle-aged man glanced at Ling Xiao, and there was a glint in his eyes. Ling Xiao could tell that the black-clothed middle-aged man was actually an expert of LV3 noble realm. He was unfathomable, and there was a terrifying aura coming from him that made people want to kneel down. Second uncle, this is my friend, Ling Xiao. It's all thanks to him that I was able to return safely. Lu Wan quickly said. She told him about the adventure ship's encounter with the 18 bandits, being chased by the reincarnation beast, and meeting the Black Wind King. Only then did the black-clothed middle-aged man's gaze soften, but there was still a tinge of vigilance. So it's Mr. Ling. Thank you for saving Wan, Here's 1,000,000 spiritual crystals. It's just a small token of my appreciation. Please accept it. The black-clothed middle-aged man smiled and took out a storage ring, passing it to Ling Shao. The young men behind the black-clothed middle-aged man were experts of the Grandmaster realm and the noble realm. At this moment, they were all looking at Ling Shao with different expressions, looking very arrogant. Ling Shao frowned slightly and did not take it. He said flatly, "No need. I didn't save Miss Lu for any reward. Do you think it's too little, Mr. Ling? If it's too little, I can add another 1,000,000 spiritual crystals." The black-clothed middle-aged man's eyes revealed a trace of hidden coldness. His voice was very cold, and he took out another storage ring. In the black-clothed middle-aged man's opinion, Ling Shao was unappreciative. Did he really think that he could force the black-clothed middle-aged man to repay his kindness by saving Lu Wan, her? "Second uncle, this is not the place to talk. Let's go home first. Grandfather must be waiting anxiously, right?" Lu Wan could sense the awkward atmosphere between Ling Shao and the black-clothed middle-aged man. She frowned slightly and said aloud, "You're right. Your grandfather is dying of anxiety. Let's go back quickly." The black-clothed middle-aged man smiled slightly. "Don't mind him, Mr. Ling. My second uncle doesn't mean any harm. He just wants to thank you. Let's go back to the Ling family first. If grandfather knows that you saved me, he'll be very happy." Lu Wan smiled at Ling Shao and explained in a low voice. "Is that so?" Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of a smile. He said, "Don't worry, Miss Lu. I won't say a word about you being molested by the Black Wind King. I'll stay in the Lu family for a while, and then I'll leave." "Thank you, Mr. Ling." Lu Wan smiled faintly. She believed that Ling Shao was a smart person and would not say anything that he should not say. The group turned into a stream of light and shot rapidly toward the Star Sky City. Chapter 451. The entire Stellar Sky City emitted a silver light. The city walls were hundreds of feet tall and were filled with starlight. There was an ancient and mysterious aura flowing around. Legend had it that there were stellar sky stones in the city walls of Stellar Sky City. They intertwined with each other to form a mysterious formation that could draw the power of the stars in the 9 heavens. That was why Stellar Sky City could stand on this piece of land and endure the baptism of time. There was a large courtyard in the east of Stellar Sky City. There were many pavilions and palaces. There was also a dense forest and a few hills. The spiritual energy was very dense. This was the Lu family, the dominator of Stellar Sky City. Although the Lu family was declining, it was still a big family with a history of 10,000 years. Lu Wan's grandfather, Lu Xiongshi, was an emperor realm expert and was the stabilizing force of the Lu family. In addition, there were many noble realm and celestial realm experts in the Lu family. They dominated the area within a few thousand miles of Stellar Sky City. Under the lead of Lu Wan's second uncle, Lu Tianlin, a group of people entered Stellar Sky City and arrived at the Lu family. "Is that Miss Lu Wan, her? She came back safely? I heard that the Treasure Pavilion's adventure ship went to the Reincarnation Sea and encountered the Reincarnation Beast. There were many casualties. Miss Lu Wan was also on the adventure ship. Elder Lu was worried sick. Lu Wan came back safely. I heard that the Tianfeng city will soon come to propose marriage. When the time comes, the Lu family and the Feng family will join forces. No one in the Grand Star State will dare to have any ideas about the Lu family. Isn't that so? Although the stellar sky or is precious, the Lu family and the Feng family will have the backing of the Star Palace." When the people in Stellar Sky City saw Lu Wan's return, they all showed an extremely respectful expression and discussed in whispers. Ling Shao didn't care about the discussions. After entering Stellar Sky City, he had been sizing up the city and the Lu family. Ling Shao could feel that there were indeed stellar sky stones in Stellar Sky City. Someone had carved a formation law with supreme magic power. Its power was terrifying. Ling Xiao estimated that if an emperor dared to barge into Stellar Sky City, he would be severely injured even if he didn't die. The Lu family occupied a vast area. It was a large manor with exquisite courtyards and palaces. It had an aura of a large family. There were faint clouds in the sky. It was a spiritual mist formed by spiritual energy. Moreover, Ling Xiao felt a very familiar aura from the Lu family. As expected, it's still here. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he sighed emotionally. After entering the Lu clan's manor, Ling Xiao could feel that the spiritual energy of heaven and earth in the surroundings was extremely abundant. Furthermore, there were traces of pure astral energy permeating the air, making one feel refreshed. One could vaguely see strands of starlight descending from the sky. They were guided by the power of the formation and fell into the manor of the Lu family. Inside the Lu clan manor, there were many figures with imposing auras. There were many grandmasters and celestial realm cultivators. Ling Xiao even felt more than a dozen noble plane cultivators. Although the current Lu family could not be compared to those hidden ancient clans, they already had the aura of a great family. Young Master Ling, I'll go take a look at grandfather first. You rest here for a while. Lu Wan smiled at Ling Xiao. At the same time, a few pretty maids came forward to take care of Ling Xiao. Miss Lu, I'd like to walk around. May I? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he smiled faintly. Lu Wan's eyes flashed. She smiled faintly and said, of course, but that hill is a forbidden area of the Lu family. Only the family head can enter it. Other than that, young Master Ling, feel free to do as you wish. Thank you very much. Ling Xiao said. He did not plan to stay in the Lu family for too long. As soon as he found the information and clues he wanted, he would leave. The familiar aura that Ling Xiao had felt before was in the forbidden area of the Lu family that Lu Wan had mentioned. Don't worry. We'll take good care of young Master Ling. The young people that Lu Tianlin had brought were all disciples of the Lu family. They were all dignified and arrogant. Some of them were even filled with inexplicable hostility toward Ling Xiao. At this moment, they all smiled and wanted to accompany Ling Xiao. Okay. Lu Wan smiled sweetly and walked into the depths of the manor with Lu Tianlin. There were few people in the depths of the manor. In an exquisite bamboo forest, there was an ancient palace, surrounded by clouds and mist. It looked very peaceful. As soon as they entered the palace, Lu Wan and Lu Tianlin knelt down respectfully. Wan greets grandfather. I'm sorry for making you worry. Greetings, father. An old man with white hair and a beard sat cross-legged in the palace. His face was ruddy and he looked dignified. Mysterious starlight flickered around his body, forming a divine halo behind his head. This old man was the current family head of the Lu family, Lu Wan's grandfather, Lu Xiongshi. Wan, you're back. Lu Xiongshi opened his eyes, revealing a look of pleasant surprise. His originally worried heart was also put down. It's my fault for making you worry, grandfather. However, this trip was not in vain. I've already found the karma fruit. As long as I invite an alchemy grandmaster, he will definitely be able to refine the karma pill and increase your lifespan by 60 years. A light flashed in Lu Wan's hand, and 3 green spiritual fruits appeared. They were the size of a fist, and there seemed to be golden lightning swimming in them. The fragrance of the fruits assailed the nostrils. They were very extraordinary. It really is the karma fruit. It's a pity that the karma fruit is useless to the old ancestor. Otherwise, if the old ancestor was still alive, why would we need to have a marriage alliance with the Feng family and rely on others? Lu Xiongshi took the karma fruit with a hint of emotion in his eyes. The karma fruit was an extremely precious king medicine. It only grew on some mysterious islands in the reincarnation sea and was nourished by the power of reincarnation to produce the karma fruit. If the karma fruit was refined into a karma pill, it could increase the lifespan of an emperor realm expert by 60 years. Lu Xiongshir's lifespan was nearing its end. If it wasn't for the fact that only Lu Wan's heavenly star bloodline could sense the existence of the karma fruit, he wouldn't have taken the risk to let Lu Wan go to the reincarnation sea. Grandpa, with these 3 karmic calamity fruits, your lifespan will increase by 260 years. Grandpa's cultivation will definitely take another step forward. As long as you can break through to the ancestors level, you will be able to guarantee our Lu clan's prosperity for another 1,000 years. Lu Wan said respectfully. Breaking through to the old ancestors' realm is easier said than done. All of you, get up. How did Wan escape this time? Could it be that the precious treasure pavilion sent a supreme being? Lu Xiongshir's eyes revealed a hint of doubt. Encountering a reincarnation beast in the reincarnation sea was simply a matter of life and death. Only a supreme being expert could contend against a reincarnation beast. Grandfather, I almost couldn't come back this time. Chapter 452. Ling Xiao saved you. Who is this Ling Xiao? Lu Xiongshir frowned. Lu Wan said, Grandfather, Ling Xiao is a rogue cultivator. Although he is only at the 9th level of the supreme power realm, he is only in his 20s. He is talented and powerful. He could kill the Black Wind King of the celestial realm. I wanted to win him over, but I didn't expect him to be so stubborn and unwilling to join our Lu family. Since he is unwilling to join the Lu family, why did he come back with you? Could it be that he has other intentions? Lu Xiongshir's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. Lu Tianlin quickly said, Father, I also feel that this kid has other intentions. I'm afraid he wants to take advantage of Wan. After all, who in the Grand Star State doesn't know about Wan's celestial bloodline? Which young talent doesn't want to be cultivation companions with Wan? Taking advantage of Wan? This kid is a toad who wants to eat swan meat. However, he saved Wan, and our Lu family has to show our gratitude. Give him 1 million spiritual crystals as a reward for saving our lives. Find an excuse to drive him out. Lu Xiongshir sneered, and his eyes flickered. Lu Tianlin sneered and said, Father, this kid is too greedy. I gave him 2 million spiritual crystals, but he didn't want it. He is too hateful. Greed is like a snake trying to swallow an elephant. This kid is simply courting death. Feng Yuan's death is always a troublesome matter. These days, the Feng family came to Tianxing City to propose marriage. If they know that Feng Yuan is dead, I'm afraid they won't let it go. They have to find someone to be the scapegoat. Lu Xiongshir's eyes revealed a trace of killing intent as he said slowly. Lu Wan frowned and said, Grandfather, Ling Xiao saved me after all. If we let him be the scapegoat, wouldn't it be a bit, Wan, you are too kind. Lu Tianlin sneered, but Ling Xiao came to our Lu family with an ulterior motive. This kid is not a good person. Maybe he is in cahoots with those bandits. We didn't wrongly accuse him. In cahoots with the bandits? Lu Wan's expression changed. After thinking about it, she couldn't rule out this possibility. Her eyes turned cold. Well, let's test him again. If she gave him 5 million spiritual crystals and he took it and left, then she would forget about it. If he doesn't accept it and doesn't want to leave, then don't blame us for being rude. Lu Xiongshir sneered and finally made his decision. Yes, I'll arrange it right away. Lu Tianlin sneered and looked at Lu Wan. Lu Wan did not refuse and slowly nodded. After Lu Wan left, Ling Xiao followed the feeling in his heart and walked towards the depths of the manor. The disciples of the Lu family followed behind Ling Xiao, but Ling Xiao was not in the mood to pay attention to them. Brother Ling, the scenery of our Lu clan manor is very pleasant, and the most important thing is that the spirit qi here is abundant. It contains the power of the stars, and cultivating for 1 day here is equivalent to cultivating for 100 days in the outside world. Brother Ling, why don't you make the best use of your time to cultivate? Once you leave the Lu clan manor, I'm afraid you won't be able to find such a holy land for cultivation again. Those disciples of the Lu clan could not hold themselves back anymore. The one in the lead was a young man dressed in white, holding a folding fan in his hand. His cultivation base was at the 5th level of the heaven tier, and he smiled at Ling Xiao. His expression was arrogant, and he had a condescending attitude. In their eyes, Ling Xiao was just a loose cultivator, a country bumpkin from who knows where. However, he treated them calmly and even somewhat disregarded them, which made them very unhappy. A mere loose cultivator, so what if he saved Lu Wan? Which of the disciples of the families in Stellar Sky City would not be respectful to the people of the Lu family? No need, I'm just looking around. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and ignored their provocation. Clouds and mist lingered in front of them, and a small mountain appeared. At this moment, under the illumination of the sun, it actually emitted a bright silver light. It looked mysterious and unfathomable, as if the stars of the 9 heavens were pouring down. Ling Xiao, you can't go any further. That's the forbidden area of our Lu family. The young man in white clothes said with a gloomy expression. Ling Xiao said, don't worry, I'm not going in. I'm just looking around. Ling Xiao stood in front of the small silver mountain. The power of his primordial spirit spread out and divided into strands of light, which intertwined with the small silver mountain and probed inside. Ling Xiao felt a little sad. There was a trace of Lu Guqin's aura in the small silver mountain. However, he could not enter at this moment and could only use the power of his primordial spirit to probe. Whoosh! At this moment, a powerful and cold aura rapidly approached. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. The person who came was a cultivator of the noble plane and could easily sense the power of Ling Xiao's primordial spirit. Therefore, Ling Xiao temporarily stopped probing with his primordial spirit. The person who came was Lu Wan, Er's second uncle, Lu Tianlin. After seeing Ling Xiao, Lu Tianlin smiled and said, Young Master Ling, to thank you for saving Wan, Er's life, here are 5 million spiritual crystals. I hope you'll accept it. You're welcome. Could it be that you feel that it's inappropriate for me to stay in the Lu family and want me to leave? Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. He did not take the storage ring from Lu Tianlin. Lu Tianlin's face stiffened and a trace of darkness flashed in his eyes. He forced a smile and said, Young Master Ling, what are you talking about? You're the benefactor of the Lu family. You can stay as long as you want. The spiritual crystals in the storage ring are just a token of our appreciation. Please don't refuse. If that's the case, then I'll accept. I'd like to cultivate here for a while. Is that okay? I'll leave the Lu family tomorrow. Ling Xiao said flatly and sneered in his heart. The Lu family could not wait to send him away for the sake of Lu Wan, Er's reputation. However, for the sake of what Lu Guqin had left behind, Ling Xiao had to stay for the time being. Seeing that Ling Xiao had no intention of leaving after taking the storage ring, Lu Tianlin thought that the so-called cultivation was just an excuse. A trace of killing intent flashed in his heart, but on the surface, he smiled and said, Young Master Ling, please. You can cultivate for as long as you want. With that, Lu Tianlin turned around and his face became extremely gloomy. He left to report back to Lu Tianlin. Everyone, I'd like to cultivate here for a while. I hope you won't disturb me. Ling Xiao glanced at the young man in white and said flatly. Young Master Ling, please do as you wish. Let's go. The young man in white sneered. He could not be bothered to continue feigning civility with Ling Xiao and left with a group of Lu family disciples. Ling Xiao could not be bothered with them. He sat cross-legged in front of the silver hill and released his powerful primordial spirit power. When he sensed that no one was spying on him, he continued to release his primordial spirit power and directed it toward the silver hill. The silver hill was bright and mysterious, as if it contained some kind of mysterious power. Although it looked small, it had an invincible power that could suppress the heavens. Chapter 453. The silver mountain was hollowed out. The power of the stars inside was extremely rich and dazzling. It was as if there were countless stars rotating inside. In the center of the galaxy, there was a silver eye that contained an incomparably powerful fluctuation that seemed to cause the void to tremble. Heavenly Star Divine Eye. Ling Xiao said slowly, with a trace of sadness in his eyes. The Heavenly Star Divine Eye was a powerful divine ability that was created by Ling Xiao in his previous life. It opened the third eye and was refined with the power of billions of stars. Not only did it have the power to see through the 9 heavens and 10,000 worlds, but it also contained a terrifying destructive power. The cultivation of the Heavenly Star Divine Eye was extremely difficult. In his previous life, Ling Xiao did not succeed and passed it to Lu Guqin. The silver eye in front of him was the Heavenly Star Divine Eye that Lu Guqin cultivated. Just looking at it made Ling Xiao's body turn cold. Ling Xiao did not doubt that if this Heavenly Star Divine Eye exploded, it would at least have the power to kill a Supreme Being expert. Guqin, you left your Heavenly Star Divine Eye here. Could it be that you really died? Ling Xiao was a little lonely. This Heavenly Star Divine Eye had been refined by Lu Guqin into a treasure comparable to a Supreme Being weapon. It contained an unparalleled Heavenly Star Divine Light. If Lu Guqin did not die, how could he have left the Heavenly Star Divine Eye behind? Presumably, the cultivation method of the Heavenly Star Divine Eye was not passed down. Otherwise, with this divine ability, the Lu family would not have declined so much. Ling Xiao sighed. The cultivation method of the Heavenly Star Divine Eye was passed down to Lu Guqin by Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao did not say that it could not be passed down to outsiders. Who would have thought that Lu Guqin did not even pass it down to the descendants of the Lu family? Ling Xiao's soul probed the silver Heavenly Star Divine Eye, but there was a layer of mysterious power outside the Heavenly Star Divine Eye that was instantly alarmed. Who is it? How dare you covet the treasure of my Lu family? An old and terrifying voice exploded in Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness, almost shattering it. Half-step Supreme Being. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He did not expect the Lu family to have a half-step Supreme Being. Wasn't it said that the old ancestor of the Lu family had died and turned into dust? It seemed that the rumors could not be trusted. Perhaps it was the old ancestor of the Lu family who was killed by the explosion. Ling Xiao hurriedly retracted the power of his Yuan spirit. He could sense that the half-step Supreme Being was not in the Lu family. He had only laid down a secret Yuan spirit array to protect the Heavenly Star God Eye. No wonder Ling Xiao couldn't sense the power of the array. A half-step Supreme Being was already far beyond what Ling Xiao could sense. Now that Ling Xiao had alarmed the Heavenly Star God pupil, it was likely that the Lu clan's old ancestor would not be able to sit still any longer. If I use the cultivation method of the Heavenly Star God Eyes to activate the Heavenly Star God Eyes, I should be able to obtain this treasure. But, this is the treasure of the Guqin guardian family after all. Let it stay in the Lu family. Ling Xiao slowly opened his eyes, and there was a hint of emotion in his eyes. When he came to the Lu clan this time, Ling Xiao actually had high hopes. Perhaps Lu Guqin had found a heaven-defying divine medicine and was reborn. But after seeing the Heavenly Star God Eyes, Ling Xiao knew that perhaps Lu Guqin had really fallen. The Heavenly Star God Eye of a generation, the 6th direct disciple of the sky-devouring Supreme Being, a peerless expert who had shaken the War God continent, only left behind this Heavenly Star God Eye. Ling Xiao was already prepared to leave the Lu family. But at this moment, in the distant void, a group of powerful auras was rapidly approaching the Heavenly Star City. Boom! Lightning filled the air and starlight lingered. It was a silver void treasure ship, emitting powerful waves of energy. On the void treasure ship, there were more than 10 figures with extraordinary auras. There were both men and women, each of them looking heroic and extraordinary. They were quickly flying towards the Lu family manor. The leader was an old man in a black robe. His face was hale and hearty, and his eyes shone brightly. He held a black scepter in his hand and exuded a transcendent and vast aura. An Emperor realm expert. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. On the Void Treasure ship, other than the black-robed old man who was an Emperor realm expert, there were also 3 noble realm experts and more than 10 celestial realm experts. So it's Brother Feng. I apologize for not welcoming you earlier. I hope Brother Feng won't blame me. The appearance of the Void Treasure ship instantly alarmed many experts of the Lu family. Lu Xiongshi brought Lu Tianlin and Lu Wan into the air to welcome them. The black-robed old man's face was full of smiles as he said, "Brother Lu, you're too polite. The Feng family came uninvited. We should be the ones asking for forgiveness. Today, we're here to propose marriage. In the future, our families will be in-laws, and we should be closer." Ha ha ha. Brother Lu, you're right. Let's talk at home. Lu Xiongshi had the demeanor of an immortal. He was burly and exuded a powerful aura. He was like a transcendent deity. He stood side by side with the black-robed old man and walked towards the Lu family manor. The Void Treasure ship landed slowly, and a group of black-robed Feng family disciples walked down from it. Is it the Feng family? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He did not expect these people to be from the Feng family. It seemed that they were here to propose marriage to the legendary Feng Peilong. Ling Xiao's gaze fell on one of the 3 noble realm experts of the Feng family. The young man was wearing a silver starry robe. He stood tall and slender. His face was like jade, and there was a faint smile at the corner of his mouth. He was like a divine son of the stars, and his aura was extremely powerful. He looked like he was in his 20s, but he was already at the first level of the noble realm. He could be said to be extremely talented. Wan greets Brother Feng. Lu Wan looked at the young man in the starry robe. She blushed and bowed slightly. Sister Wan, there's no need to be so courteous. We haven't seen each other for a long time, and you've become more beautiful. The young man in the starry robe was Feng Peilong. He had a charming smile on his face. Like a modest gentleman, he helped Lu Wan up. Lu Xiongshi and the black-robed old man laughed again when they saw Feng Peilong and Lu Wan. Brother Lu, Wan, and Peilong are a match made in heaven. I believe that it won't be long before Wan's celestial bloodline explodes, and she will quickly step into the noble realm. The black-robed old man laughed, and there was a glimmer in his eyes. Brother Feng is right. Peilong is already an inner sect disciple of the Star Palace. I believe that it won't be long before he becomes a true transmission disciple. I am very satisfied to have such a grandson-in-law. Lu Xiongshi stroked his beard and laughed. Lu Wan blushed even more. Ling Xiao could tell that Lu Wan had dressed up deliberately. She was wearing a red dress, and her figure was graceful. Her skin was as white as jade, and her face was extremely beautiful. Although she was not as beautiful as Yueshan and Phoenix Girl, she had her own charm. Her cheeks were blushing, and there was an indescribable seduction in between her movements. Even Feng Peilong's eyes were shining. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.